Politics out of this. Follow the facts, follow the science, and work the problem.
On Wall Street, more selling's looming over corona concern as markets overseas drop 3 to 4%. Dow futures are down more than 200 the day after the biggest point drop ever, almost 1,200. The second 1,000-point drop decline this week. The next presidential primaries tomorrow.
I refuse to accept the proposition we can't be united again.
Joe Biden leads the polls in that state, but some surveys have Bernie Sanders within single digits, fresh off wins in Nevada and New Hampshire. Sanders leads a new Fox national poll of Democrats with 31%, 13 points ahead of Biden. America's listening to Fox News.
It is 19 degrees at 5:02 on AM 560, The Answer, and good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Scott. 5 Chicago police officers are hurt after 2 squad cars crashed into each other on the south side. Authorities say an unmarked police squad collided with a marked one last night near 92nd Street and South Chicago Avenue. Both vehicles were on their way to help with a traffic stop when an accident occurred. We'll get the very latest from Jim Talamonte in a moment in traffic, but there is a deadly accident this morning along I-57 near Posen when a car tumbled off an overpass onto a highway underneath and a fire broke out. Again, Jim will have more on this developing story. It's been a major traffic problem overnight as well as a major investigation in the early morning hours. A 12-year-old boy is in fair condition after he was shot on Chicago's west side. Police say the victim reported that he was standing on the sidewalk last night in the 1600 block of South Holman Avenue when he heard gunfire and realized he had been shot. Former Glen Ellen man is facing 75 years in prison after he was convicted of the 2011 murder of his ex-wife. A DuPage County jury found Juan Garandos guilty yesterday of first-degree murder and criminal sexual assault. Authorities say he sexually assaulted, then strangled Nancy Bustos, then fled to Mexico. Bustos was found dead in the bathroom of the Glen Ellen apartment she shared with Granados and their 2 children. Suburban Chicago man charged with last year's beating death of his 5-year-old son has asked a judge, not a jury, to decide his fate. Andrew Friend Sr. telling the McHenry County Judge Robert Wilbrandt he wants a bench trial. During a hearing yesterday, he and the boy's mother were charged with first-degree murder in the death of their son, Andrew Friend Jr. An investigation is underway after a woman with a concealed carry permit exchanged gunfire with a would-be robber on the southwest side. The Chicago woman refused to hand over her property to a would-be thief and instead pulled out her own gun. 2 fired shots at one another. No one was hurt. The suspect was forced to run off. A police investigation into a possible sexual assault at Chicago's Lincoln Park High is closed without charges. The case is the subject of a pending lawsuit filed against CPS by a father who claims the school district did not protect his underage daughter from being assaulted last month at the Northside School by a male student in an unlocked classroom. No one hurt after a helicopter made an emergency landing in Stinkney. The FAA says the helicopter pilot made that precautionary landing yesterday after getting a warning light. Pilot did attempt to land at Midway Airport but could not make it. Several residents are displaced as investigators this morning are looking into the cause of a Mishawaka, Indiana apartment fire overnight. Around 9:45, crews responded to the Indian Lakes apartments. Fire that started in the back of the building and spread to other floors. It was doused around midnight. 5:05 on AM 560, The Answer. With coronavirus continuing to spread slowly in the U.S., including a new case in California of unknown origin, many people are becoming increasingly anxious. Dr. Stuart Shankman is chief of psychology at Northwestern Medicine and reminds everyone there's a difference between rational concern and hypochondria.
People should try to strike a balance between being informed and worrying where it's going to become impairing to their lives.
He also recommends getting all of your COVID-19 information from only reputable sources. A state senator wants parents to have the choice to opt out children out of active shooter drills at school. Senator Scott Bennett once voted to require the drills, but he says now he believes new data shows the drills may do more harm than good. Could the death knell for the Chicago Tribune have been sounded? Tribune Publishing announcing yesterday that publisher and editor-in-chief Bruce Dold will leave the newspaper April 30th. He'll be replaced by Colin McMahon. Dold is capping a 42-year career at the Tribune that included a Pulitzer Prize. Chicago sports. Dominic Kubalik records a hat trick during a 5-goal third period. Blackhawks storm back to beat the Lightning 5-2 in Tampa Bay. Blackhawk goalie Corey Crawford says he kept them close till the offense came through.
As a goal, you just want to try and give your team a chance, and we didn't fold. We kept playing. We got some chances on the power play, and like I said, we got a lot of skill. We can score goals.
Hawks visit the Panthers tomorrow. Alan Griffin scored a career-high 24, including 6 three-pointers, propelling Illinois to a 74-66 victory at Northwestern. Dad Adrian, who played for the Bulls and the Mavericks, must be awfully proud. Of course, Dad won an NBA title last year as a coach with the Toronto Raptors. Chicago Fire opened their soccer season Sunday on the road against the defending MLS champion Seattle Sounders. The news service of Indeed.com. As a hiring manager, you need to quickly find the best candidates for your open positions. Tools from Indeed like Skills Test will help candidates really show you what they can do. You'll save so much time, you can take the scenic route home. Post your next job at Indeed.com/hire today. 5:07, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager is amazed there are Republicans.
They ask, where are all of these Republicans coming from? And I do too. I ask the same question. You are lied to from kindergarten through graduate school because you are indoctrinated rather than educated, and somehow see through that?
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
The late, great Winston Churchill said, "You will never reach your destination if you stop and throw stones at every dog that barks." Pretty wise words considering all of the distractions in modern society.
Manufacturing companies, I encourage you to call my friend Laz Kulchar from Automated Systems. Automated Systems is a software and systems integration company that specializes in companies that are required to meet FDA compliance requirements. Automated Systems will create a custom solution for your business that will make your production lines, facilities, and plants run more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. From Fortune 500 to startup, ASI delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. For information, I encourage you to talk to Laz at Automated Systems. Call 844-HIRE-ASI or visit hireasi.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI, 844-HIRE-ASI, or online at hireasi.com.
There's no better way to dine than 95 floors above North Michigan Avenue, overlooking the best skyline in the world. And there's only one restaurant in the entire world that can offer that spectacular view combined with a delicious brunch, lunch, or dinner. The Signature Room at the 95th. One-of-a-kind experiences. Great for a night out with friends or romantic date night in the city. Dining that brings the best of Chicago to the table with local fresh ingredients. Take the elevator one level higher to the Signature Lounge on the 96th floor and enjoy a full bar featuring their renowned cocktails. They also feature special events and private event spaces for a spectacular occasion that will give your guests something to talk about. Visit the Signature Room at the 95th website for more details at signatureroom.com. And when you make a reservation, ask for the upgraded VIP reservation experience. Prepare to be impressed with the elegance of dining at the Signature Room at the 95th. Visit signatureroom.com today.
Now some better news brought to you by Canada Dry. Traffic's the worst, so grab a can of Canada Dry Ginger Ale and imagine instead you're gently floating through the cosmos on a soft, comfy recliner. Next time, relax with the real ginger taste of Canada Dry.
It is 5:10. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, the latest with Jim Telemonte.
I-57 is closed southbound from 127th to Sibley after a crash and car fire. Traffic forced off at 127th. Inbound Eisenhower, the exit to the northbound tri-state. 294 is set to reopen after being closed during the early morning hours. Ramp closures of the inbound Kennedy downtown are set to lift now. And on the Kennedy, express lanes should be opening inbound shortly. No delays right now. Kennedy, the Eisenhower, and Stevens. They've been riding a little heavy 18th into the Burn Circle where there's some road work. Tonight, you'll have concert traffic on the west side and monster trucks in Rosemont. Traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Speaking of concerts, you know what happened tonight, 1978, in Chicago? Van Halen began their world tour. An opening lineup that included Black Sabbath and Journey at the Aragon Ballroom. What a concert. Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, Steve Williams.
It'll be chilly today, partly sunny, high 31, clear and cold tonight with a low 16. Mostly sunny tomorrow, the high 39. Some sun to start. It'll be clouds on the increase, breezy Sunday, high 57. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
19 at O'Hare. Next news, 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts next on AM 560, The Answer.
Their boots are always dirty because at First Choice Equipment, they work alongside their customers to help find innovative solutions to their equipment needs. First Choice Equipment is a trusted family-owned full-service construction equipment dealer that provides skid steers, excavators, track loaders, and wheel loaders to contractors throughout northern Illinois and southeast Wisconsin. First Choice Equipment sells, rents, and services Kubota, Gale, and Mustang construction equipment. Kubota is proud to be the world's #1 selling compact excavator and was awarded the highest retained value in 2019 by Equipment Watch. At First Choice Equipment, they work alongside construction professionals who put their work boots on every day. Visit their website at firstchoiceequipment.com to view all of the Kubota, Gale, and Mustang products, or call 855-510-6050. That's 855-510-6050. At First Choice Equipment, they're not just building your neighborhood, they're also part of your neighborhood. It's never too early to think about what activities your son or daughter will do this summer. You want your kids to have fun during their break, but provide some structure and preparation for the next school year. Consider St. John's Northwestern Summer Academy in the beautiful Lake Country region of southeast Wisconsin. St. John's Northwestern Summer Academy offers fantastic summer programs, such as academic opportunities for personal success and adventure camp. Academic Ops offers 7th through 12th graders 5 weeks of summer classes supplemented with fun activities throughout. Adventure Camp is just how it sounds, an exciting camp that instills leadership, adventure skills training, and having fun. Consider St. John's Northwestern Summer Academy for your son or daughter with their overnight or day camp programs located in the beautiful Lake Country of Wisconsin, only 2 hours from Chicago. For more information, visit sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Richard Engel from NBC News tweeted out, "Don't panic. Doctors, virologists I'm speaking to say 98% of people will be fine even if they get COVID-19. They expect it will go around the world, but most people who get it will be a little sick, then recover. The danger is to vulnerable people, hospitals, old age homes." I saw this because it was retweeted by one Amy Jacobson.
Yes. Because I was remember the
Can
piece.
can you reconcile the last 3 weeks of hysteria with retweeting "Don't panic"? Doctors, virologists I'm speaking to say 98% of people will be fine even if they get COVID-19.
Well, I wanted to bring a little levity and clarity to the situation, but the 2% is probably going to be me, people with compromised immune systems. So we're talking about human lives. Okay, so 2% it's a good number, but it still means elderly people, people in old age or in old people's homes, people that have respiratory issues because this is a respiratory disease.
You mean like the flu?
Yeah, like the flu.
Like other ailments that exist in this imperfect world in which we live. The Singaporean president, just to give a little bit of flavor nationally, particularly in the Far East, the Singaporean president Li Shenlong.
Nice pronunciation.
Thank you very much. He took to the airwaves and offered a very measured response to the Singaporean people. Just thought it's good to get a little flavor of what's happening around the world, not just in America.
The new coronavirus is similar to SARS, but with two important differences. First, the new virus is more infectious than SARS. Therefore, it's harder to stop it from spreading. Second, the new virus is much less dangerous than SARS. About 10% of those who caught SARS died. With a new virus, outside of Hubei province, the mortality rate is so far only 0.2%. In comparison, seasonal influenza has a death rate of 0.1%. So in terms of mortality, the new virus is much closer to influenza than SARS.
Hubei province, of course, is where Wuhan is located. That's what he was referencing. But the comparison to SARS, which Singapore had experience dealing with, like the rest of the world, to corona and corona to influenza, sort of the measured response you hope you would get from world leaders. Maybe the pronouncements of Prime Minister Lee in Singapore will overcome the pronouncements of Prime Minister Abe in Japan, who is closing all the schools till the end of March. That was not exactly helpful to the markets yesterday, that announcement.
They're doing the same thing in South Korea, too, closing all schools for a month. But the CDC told us to watch out for that here, that it could happen here, and to be prepared. And Homeland Security said, get medicines for 2 weeks, stock up on enough water and food for your family and pets for 2 weeks.
Maybe.
So that's what I did yesterday. And you'd be surprised at how many items were flying off the shelves at Walmart.
I wouldn't be surprised. Media-induced hysteria never surprises me. And that's what this is.
Yeah, somebody accused me of being a hoarder. So like, don't worry, I'll use that food. It's just one less trip to the grocery store if I don't use it for, a 2-week quarantine period.
What is the pandemic here? Is the pandemic this new virus, or is the pandemic the media hysteria surrounding it? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. I mean, they bring on virologists and infectious disease experts, and you hear experts say, calm down and carry on, Brown University. But that is a footnote compared to the coverage, which of course is hysteria induced. This is what the media stock and trade these days. It's inducing hysteria, not providing clarity.
Well, here's one of the world's top virologists. We brought one of her interviews yesterday, but here's her saying that this could be our new normal, but it's not going to kill everybody.
I think that it
Everybody
is heading towards becoming a pandemic, yes. We have to work hard for a vaccine and learn to live with the virus, and I think it's just going to become part of our life.
Just meaning that it's part of our life, like the everyday flu, and most people can carry it and never even have the symptoms. But then you have this woman right now who's in ICU, who's intubated in California because she caught the disease somehow, somewhere. She didn't travel to China. She didn't even go to the airport. She doesn't have any friends from Japan, Seoul, or South Korea. And she's at ICU. We don't. Mike, have you seen her age? Because I've looked everywhere to see how old this woman is. They're not releasing it. In fact, they're so secretive about this. We just know that her family members are now being tested and they're being quarantined, and all the nurses and doctors that were around her for a week before they even tested her for the coronavirus have been sent home and are in self-quarantine.
But we also know that she lives just a stone's throw from the Travis Air Force Base.
Exactly.
Which is where the plane came in carrying the Diamond Princess
first the Wuhan
cruise ship
I
folks.
thought it was the Wuhan.
Yeah, that
may have been Wuhan, then some Diamond Princess. Several were also housed at Travis for a short time.
No, Mike, see, that's the sort of measured reporting that has no place in our culture anymore. You're supposed to cover this like it's an alien invasion, which is the way it's being covered in so many quarters.
Well, our friends at Northwestern Medicine also this morning, and I played the soundbite in our newscast at the top of the hour, said there's a big difference between reacting to this with normalcy and reacting like it's a hypochondriac. And they cautioned against that because that creates problems from a psychological standpoint inside the home.
It also creates problems in communist countries where you get shot if you are infected with coronavirus, like Kim Jong-un did in North Korea.
What do you...
Yeah, somebody in North Korea infected with COVID-19, and he was shot. There you go. Skip ahead of the quarantine. We're gonna go next steps.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment. And I don't know if you heard this, but there's a dog in Hong Kong who's been quarantined. He's been infected. They tested him as he has the coronavirus.
Yeah, I've dispatched some pipes over there for the Hong Kongans to beat that dog to death, like they did those two poodles.
But they're not killing him.
Because I want to feed the hysteria.
Well, they're not killing him because they want to know. It was a weak positive, so they don't know if the dog was really infected or if it's a result of an environmental contamination in his mouth and nose.
We should quarantine all dogs, too, in the world. Shouldn't we?
They're not letting the owner see his dog.
No.
The owner has COVID-19.
It's fascinating. Can we do a review of the 180,000 people who tested positive for flu this season, case by case? And treat every case, every anecdote, like it is indicative of something of global import. There's a global takeaway from it. Every dog, every human being, every case. Let's pour over it in excruciating detail. The 16 to 41,000 people dead from flu since October, just in this country. Randy at Crown Point, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning, guys. This is what the Democrats have wanted from November of 2016. This is the only way they have a chance at beating Trump is if it all comes apart. They've been begging, praying, hoping. Now they believe they have the smoking gun. At the end of the day, they'll figure out a way to blame Trump for creating this whole hysteria over it, because that's their motive operandi. That is just who they are. And they believe that this is going to help. The problem is, by the end of the summer, when the heat comes in and the virus is gone, the market's going to jump up right before the election. Our 401s are going to be right back or better than they were, and they will once again lose to Trump, and they'll be jumping off of bridges, park every tug and every boat under every bridge on the Chicago River, because you're going to have to catch people as they're hitting the water.
All right, thanks, Randy. Appreciate it.
I mean, President Trump last night said, we've got this.
It's going to disappear. One day it's like a miracle. It will disappear. And from our shores, it could get worse before it gets better. It could maybe go away. We'll see what happens. Nobody really knows.
Yeah.
It doesn't instill a lot of confidence in me. I mean,
I know. You look to Brian Stelter over at CNN.
No, I don't.
Since the dawn of the Trump presidency, countless experts have warned that president's lack of credibility would imperil the country in the event of an emergency. With the worsening of the coronavirus outbreak, those fears may be coming true.
Dun, dun, dun.
On a very special egghead hosts a show on CNN. Idiots.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Hello, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and it's time for reparations. Reparations for the black community are bigger than a single check. Reparations are an opportunity to repair the results from the African enslavement, the redlining, the war on drugs, police terror, and continued discrimination. It is time for an investment as target as the policies that create our divide. I'm asking you to support the bill I sponsor. Please call your state legislator.
Paid for by drwillywilsonfoundation.org.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and I've dedicated my life in the service of others. As Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, life's most pressing and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? By supporting the reparation bill, I am working for the descendants of slaves to gain generation wealth, education, housing, jobs, and service for senior citizens. Call your state representative to support this bill. God bless.
Paid for by drwillywilsonfoundation.org.
All right, you go, Willie Wilson. All right, networks of the future are finally here, and Turnkey IT is ready to set up your business. Serverless networks help you save money, increase productivity. Minimize the headaches by not having to purchase or maintain a local server in your building. Unleash your business from having a server. Now you continue to have all the tools you rely on with Microsoft 35, including Outlook, Excel, PowerPoint, and more. It'll take Turnkey IT just a few minutes in their 5-point free assessment to determine if your business qualifies to be serverless. Go to turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro. Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on what's important. That's turnkey.pro.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results vary. Exclusions apply.
Contacts and glasses are such a hassle. I'd love to finally get LASIK, but
I'm going to stop you right there. If you want LASIK, then the LASIK Vision Institute has officially taken away everything standing in your way.
Isn't LASIK expensive?
Not at the LASIK Vision Institute. We're offering dramatically low prices, as low as $220 per eye, and an absolutely free consultation. See for free if LASIK is right for you by texting LIKE to 350350.
But I'm really busy.
A text only takes seconds. The LASIK procedure typically only takes 15 minutes, and most patients can get back to work the following day. The LASIK Vision Institute uses the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for as little as $220 per eye. Dr. Greenberg has performed 75,000 laser eye surgeries and is one of the most experienced LASIK surgeons in Chicago.
What's that text again?
Text LIKE to 350350. That's LIKE to 350350 to schedule your free consultation today.
Picture your son and the kind of man you hope he becomes, a strong father and a man of deep faith and a great professional. Northridge Prep builds that kind of man. At an open house on Sunday, April 5th, see why my friends are among the families from 74 Chicagoland zip codes that chose Northridge Prep for their sons. They have it all. Teachers, they're role models, challenging students through a demanding curriculum, through championship-winning athletics programs, and through electives like business and bioethics. It's the number 1 all-boys and number 4 best Catholic school in Illinois, and sends students to some of the best universities in the U.S. each year. Students leave Northridge Prep ready to make a real impact. If your son is entering grades 6 through 12, I urge you to visit Northridge Prep's open house on Sunday, April 5th. Register online at northridgeprep.org. That's northridgeprep.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, and by the way, the continuing category of what we don't know yet, how about where this started? Chinese scientists writing in The Lancet, the British medical journal, revealed that the first patient known to have contracted the coronavirus had no link to the Wuhan seafood market that the Chinese government had pointed to as the source of the outbreak. So, I mean, it's like trying to get results from the Iowa Democrat caucus. Every day is a new day. Marvin in Burlington, Wisconsin.
Yeah, good morning. I find this very eerily similar to back when Reagan was president and how the news media wanted to beat him over the head with the AIDS virus. There was Bernard Goldbook's Bias, which helped me understand how the news media projected news on the public. He cited an example of a woman in Louisiana who the news media claimed got the virus, the AIDS disease, from a mosquito. They were trying to whip up all kinds of hysteria over, trying to get money for which was needed, I imagine. But and then it turned out the woman was actually an intravenous drug user and a hooker. So it's just very similar to the movement from the apparatus in Washington and the politicians to the AIDS epidemic under Reagan.
Thanks for the call, Marvin. It's a good comparison because this happens every time. I mean, the media is in constant spin cycle, which is let's not ask reasonable questions and demand sensible gathering information and exercise any restraint. Let us run headlong off a cliff.
Well, don't you think what Richard Engel tweeted out and the story that he did? I hope you had a chance to watch it. His hair wasn't on fire. His very reason. He's visited a virologist in Shanghai who has bats that have coronavirus in a contained area, and her explaining, why she thinks it's from the bat. And
Chinese scientists disagree with her. That's my point.
Yeah, I know.
That's
Everyone's
fine.
disagreeing with everyone.
There's got a theory,
Yeah.
and she's got 90% confidence. Well, that's fine. But this is why science isn't a light switch. Just flip it and you get all the answers you want. And adults are supposed to exercise restraint and thoughtfulness. And there's very few adults in the media that do that. I mean, go back and listen, and I'll retweet it out. Our interview yesterday on this show with Dr. Roger Klein, who's a former microbiologist and head of oncology at Cleveland Clinic, for goodness sakes. That is the most reasoned, measured distillation of all these various issues you're going to hear. So we're going to congratulate ourselves for getting him, because he is your one-stop shopping. I mean, you can add in all these other voices and all these other people, but just listen to people that have actual experience and have infinitely more knowledge than anybody talking on the radio or TV about this.
And he has more knowledge than politicians do, too. So,
of course. And so when you have somebody like that being measured and saying, here's the things we know, here's the things we don't know, here's the questions we're trying to answer, here's the policies and procedures we're abiding in search for those answers, then maybe we should have a little humility when experts like Dr. Klein have humility.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
After eliminating math and reading, the Chicago Public Schools have now eliminated Columbus Day at 5:38.
And later, Bloomberg making the coronavirus political. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
19 degrees at 5:32. Health Secretary Alex Azar says President Trump's containment efforts in the coronavirus outbreak will likely work.
Thanks to the president's historically aggressive containment efforts, we have really been able to keep the risk to Americans low right now so that everyday Americans don't need to be worried.
At a White House event, Azar called the president's expert again historically aggressive, and saying the president took quick action to restrict travel to the U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, though, disagrees, criticizing the president's administrative response.
They left critical positions vacant in charge of managing pandemics at the National Security Council and the Department of Homeland Security.
Pelosi saying she did speak with Vice President Pence, who's spearheading the response by the government to the coronavirus, on the phone before her news briefing. Republican activists in South Carolina are working to get out the vote for Bernie Sanders. Yes, you heard that right, ahead of Saturday's Democrat primary. Stephen Brown, a GOP activist, says the group sees things happening behind the scenes that help undo the Sanders nomination.
So we as Republicans think that there's a very reasonable chance that the Democrats might deny the nomination to Bernie Sanders. And if they were to do that, we believe it would enrage the left, cause the Democratic Party to split, and only help Donald Trump in his reelection.
GOP activists are calling the effort in South Carolina and elsewhere Operation Chaos. U.S. military is criticizing China for recent actions in the Pacific. Navy says a Chinese warship lit up one of its surveillance aircraft with a laser last week, flying in international waters. Law enforcement and company sources say the man who shot 5 co-workers to death and himself had been in a long-running dispute with a co-worker at the Molson Coors brewery in Milwaukee, where Police Chief Alfonso Morales is identifying the shooter.
And he is Anthony Farrell, a 51-year-old resident of Milwaukee. He was a current employee of Molson Coors at the time of this incident. Reasons for this is still under investigation.
Molson Coors had employed Farrell for 17 years. He believes he was discriminated against because he was an African American. Rod Blagojevich will send you a shout-out for a price. Former Illinois governor has joined Cameo, Chicago-based website that allows celebrities to interact with users via video. For $100, you can get a personalized greeting. Dominic Kubalik, a hat trick. Blackhawks stormed back to beat the Lightning 5-2 in Tampa. Alan Griffin scored a career-high 24, including 6 three-pointers, helping Illinois to a 74-66 victory at Northwestern. You may remember his dad, Adrian, who played for the Bulls and the Mavericks and won an NBA title last year as a coach with Toronto. 5:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Why did all this come out on Bloomberg?
The Sean Hannity Show.
Because Bloomberg had spent $500 million and he was getting close. This came from Democrats. If I had to say the likely culprit, again, educated guess, 31 years on radio, 24 years at Fox, I'd be looking right at the Biden campaign because they know how to play this game better than anybody.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Steve Cortez at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you getting a good night's sleep? I know you will with a set of Giza cotton sheets from MyPillow. And if you buy one, you can still receive your second set of sheets for free. Yes, 2 for 1. And if you add anything else to your order, like My Pillows, the mattress toppers, the towels, the pet beds, anything else, you'll get deep discounts on those too, but you have to use the promo code Amy. I love all My Pillow products. Even Bunky loves the My Pillow pet bed. It's great because you can throw it in the washer and dryer when it gets dirty. Plus, those Giza cotton sheets help you stay cool at night. They're soft and cozy. All products have a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. So go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special box, and get 2 sets of Giza cotton sheets for the price of 1. That's MyPillow.com, promo code Amy, or call 800-489-0201, 800-489-0201, and tell them Amy sent you.
If you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance your existing home, then you need to call Team Hochberg. Today, meet Don and Claire living in a $400,000 home in Chicago. Team Hochberg loan officer Kevin Kochman helped Don and Claire secure the mortgage when they purchased their home in 2015 with 5% down. Property values are up and rates are down, so Kevin helped them refinance, remove their PMI, and save them over $260 a month. Let's review. Team Hochberg helped Don and Claire secure a mortgage in 2015 with only 5% down and just refinanced their home, removed their private mortgage insurance, and saved them over $3,000 a year. If you'd like to remove your PMI and substantially reduce your monthly payment, call Team Hochberg now at 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com. Team Hochberg helped Don and Claire as well as thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. Homeside Financial Legal Housing Lender, LMLS 1124061.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it is a fit for you.
5:38. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time and Jim Telemonte.
I-57 remains closed southbound from 127th Sibley. This is after an overnight crash and car fire. Northbound all lanes are open, and we're not seeing significant delays on that northbound side. Payless Heights going to crash this morning at 135th Ridgeland. Edens is fine. The Kennedy looks good. Reversible lanes are open inbound. No delays to report yet on the Eisenhower. Traffic's moving pretty well to Stevenson, getting a little congestion around Cicero. Ryan's still okay. Bishop Ford a little tight approaching the merge. Traffic's a little lighter than usual right now. Tollways are fine. There is work on the southbound tri-state, 111th to 127th in the 2 right lanes. That's traffic. I'm Jim Telemonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next in our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Chilly day ahead with clouds and sun, high 31. A really chilly night, maybe one last chilly night for the early part or late part of winter, heading into early spring. 16 tonight, 39 tomorrow, 57 on Sunday. It's 19 at O'Hare. Next news at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, and let's take a couple more calls on COVID-19 before we switch to the maleducation of youth in Chicago. Frank in Arlington Heights.
Hey, good morning, Dan, Amy. You know, I think the biggest effect of this whole COVID-19 thing is going to be long run the deglobalization of the economy. Nobody's really going to care about comparative advantage, which is just a justification for globalization anyway, when they can't get their drugs because some of these things are made in China.
Yep.
These supply chains are going to come back to the United States.
Possibly. Thanks for the call, Frank. That's part of it.
Problem right now because one of the flu drugs that they have, there's a shortage because part of it comes from China.
It's also possible that supply chains will migrate to other more friendly, less communist Far Eastern countries too, as has happened during the trade war. Vietnam, Singapore, we heard from the Prime Minister earlier in the show. That's also possible. Because it's interesting, there was a good piece at diplomat.com comparing how democratic, small d, Taiwan performed in relation to totalitarian China. Even though Taiwan has not been kept officially informed by the WHO about the epidemic, the Taiwanese government promptly undertook measures to prevent the spread of the virus in Taiwan in late December of last year. Organized the Central Epidemic Command Center in January, set up the command center. It has been holding a press conference almost every day to announce the latest policy and information on the epidemic, to clarify rumors that are circulating on social media. The Taiwanese government also uses digital tools to communicate with the public amid the virus outbreak. For example, they've used, many of the politicians have used social media accounts and, on the platforms to keep the public well informed on everything from the number of available face masks to updated policy. Taiwan's active civil society also plays a critical role to save people time in looking for stores selling face masks. A Taiwanese software engineer built an online real-time map that can show where masks are stocked in convenience stores and drugstores across the island. Another case of civic participation, the engagement of fact-check institutions and groups like the Taiwan Fact-Check Center and MyGoPen. They make an effort to fact-check and correct disinformation or misinformation on the epidemic, which mostly circulates online, while disseminating the accurate information to the public. So maybe, I know there's been a lot of discussion about that. By the way, the supply chain thing, I know that's part of why the markets have been hammered, the worries about the supply chain breaking down. Let's remember the period we're talking about for those who do get sick. I mean, it's a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. I don't think the global supply chain is so delicate that a small fraction of the population and the associated reaction to that infection for a few weeks, even the month of March with school closings, for example, is going to fundamentally alter international commerce. I don't believe that. I don't think it should. But I think it does call for companies to make private decisions, re-examining just how risky it is to have important institutions and other suppliers in your supply chain in places like China, where you do have an unstable, corrupt, command-control government. So it's a little bit more nuanced than I think it's been otherwise discussed. We'll talk a little bit more about that with Scott Shalady at the bottom of the 6 o'clock hour. Jim in Crown Point.
Hey, Dan, I've got a proposition for you. Let's start a nonprofit, wink, wink, organization to fight the coronavirus, and we'll have the LGBT ABC community get behind us. We'll make the NFL and all the other sporting groups wear a special ribbon. We'll have the Corona beer partner with us. I think we can make a lot of money.
Sure. Let's
Corona beer sales are way down.
profiteer off the hysteria.
Well, we got to
Good
pick
idea.
a color, though.
Thanks, Jim.
Oh, you two have to pick a color. I'm not in on this.
Well, we don't want you in our corrupt enterprise.
Oh,
you can't
okay.
go away. You have 2 sons to raise. Craig in Mount Greenwood.
Oh, hey, Dan and Amy. Thanks for taking the call. The politicians, the Democrats, and the media were all set to do just what they were doing with that Ukrainian hoax with quid pro quo. But Trump, the dude's smartening up. He got out ahead of it. He jumped out just the way he basically released that letter or the phone call right away. He got out with that presser. Super important because they team up. They're so obvious now how they team up and give all false information and garbage. They're totally the media is totally useless. They're instead of and it's worse than that because they're destructive the way they exaggerate and tell all kind of lies and give us all kinds of bull crap just to take and attack the president. But hey, good news. He's on to him. He basically did it again. He got out ahead of him, and that was super important.
All right, thanks, Craig.
No,
Ken in Geneva.
Yeah, thanks for taking the call. I was just worried that this might spread and go from being a coronavirus to being a Bud Light virus, and that would just be deadly.
All right. Thanks, Ken.
Michael Bloomberg, of course, seizing on this moment because he was there leading his city during 9/11. And talk about the politics of coronavirus. Listen to his new campaign ad, which he just released.
The deadly coronavirus officially hitting the U.S.
The markets are plunging for a second straight day.
Health experts warn the U.S. is underprepared. Managing a crisis is what Mike Bloomberg does. In the aftermath of 9/11, he steadied and rebuilt America's largest city, oversaw emergency response to natural disasters, upgraded hospital preparedness to manage health crises, and is funding cutting-edge research to contain epidemics. Tested, ready.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
Yeah.
He's scared now.
No, this imperious figure. I love the fact, one of the criticisms of Bloomberg is he's this imperious figure with authoritarian tendencies. That commercial reeks like somebody who celebrates his reputation as an imperious figure with authoritarian tendencies. Okay. I mean, if you find that, I mean, not you, I mean the collective you find that compelling? Bloomberg is going to single-handedly repel the coronavirus. The way that Joe Biden, as he mentioned in the debate, literally by himself saved millions of people from Ebola because he would not allow it to come on American shores.
And that's exactly what Trump did, though. Trump shut it down. Shut down travel to China.
Biden stood on Ellis Island and says, "You shall not pass, Ebola." I mean, honestly, Philip in Blue Island.
Hey, good morning. And so I'm understanding that you're not talking from ignorance, because I believe you probably heard of Dan Kuntz and his book, The Eyes of Darkness.
I've heard of
Back
Dean
in 1981,
Kuntz. I've heard of Dean Kuntz.
I'm sorry, my bad. Dean Kuntz.
Yeah.
My bad. And he wrote in The Eyes of Darkness. He wrote about Wuhan, and he wrote about this epidemic or this pandemic or whatever coming out, and actually he wrote in his book for 2020 that it was going to come out and it was going to disappear. So I don't believe that. I believe that you and the Republicans that are aware of this, and Trump himself has been told that this is just going to disappear, and by the summertime, because it's designed to. So
Philip,
it's just kind of interesting.
Philip, I'm sorry. Is Dean Kuntz an infectious disease expert, or are you saying he's Nostradamus? He's a fiction writer.
Okay, but again, if you look it up, just look it up,
okay.
and then you look at the information, and then you would see that. I mean, you can laugh it off, but I'm not
going
saying
to.
that you're speaking.
Thanks for the call, Phil. I am going to laugh it off. Dean Kuntz predicted this. The Oracle of Dean Kuntz. What the hell are we people talking about?
Isn't he spoofed on Family Guy?
Yes, he is spoofed on Family Guy because he's. I mean, there's all sorts of plot lines that you go back to and you say, "Oh, that reminds me of that movie." I mean, how many viral outbreak movies have we had? They predicted it at MGM in 2006 when they did Outbreak or whatever year it was.
What was the Gwyneth Paltrow movie? Because she was on Twitter yesterday with gloves on and a mask saying, "I've lived this before in my movie," where she came back from China and she was on a business trip and got sick and died from a mysterious illness.
We're literally at a place in this country where people cannot distinguish fiction from reality.
Mm-hmm. And movies.
It's stunning.
Right? Yeah.
But I do understand that those vaginal candles Gwyneth Paltrow sells are a possible vaccine.
What we did with Ebola, I was part of making sure that pandemic did not get to the United States, saved millions of lives.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
This is attorney Stephen Leahy, host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here on AM 560 every Sunday evening at 5 o'clock. Let me tell you about Bill. Bill's business slowed down and he fell behind on his taxes. Instead of filing his tax return, he decided to wait until he could pay. Well, 1 year turned to 2, turned to 3. Then the IRS threatened to contact his customers, take his house, his bank account, and his passport. Well, Bill hired me. We filed all of his tax returns and an appeal to slow the IRS down. Then we worked out an installment agreement based on how much he could pay, not on how much he owed. Now Bill can rely on the IRS protection plan. We will file his future tax returns and keep the IRS off his back so Bill can focus on growing his business. If you have questions about the IRS, you can get a copy of my book, Deal with Your IRS Problem Today, to learn the secrets of solving your IRS problem and save your business, your marriage, and your reputation. Call 312-664-6649. or go to freeirsbook.com.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
If you've been in business more than 20 minutes, you've probably printed your logo on all kinds of promotional products.
We all know logos work because they're on everything from the top of skyscrapers to the bottom of shoes. Ever wondered why? Or how to best use your logo to grow your business? Let us show you today for free. We're 4imprint, promotional product experts at your service. We're giving away the latest issue of Amplify, the digital magazine that reveals promotional product success stories absolutely free to everyone who texts BOOST to 88988. At 4imprint, we make your logo look perfect on thousands of promotional items. With our 100% guarantee, it'll be right the first time, on time, every time. Your free e-magazine will reveal invaluable insights that can attract new customers, build your brand, and grow your business. Get the latest issue of Amplify absolutely free by texting BOOST to 88988. That's BOOST to 88988.
Sprintern here.
And Paul.
Everyone is trying to tell you how you can spend your tax refund.
At Sprint, we're doing things differently. We're saying keep it.
Exactly, because now you can get the amazing iPhone 11 with the all-new dual camera system with ultra-wide for $0 a month when you trade in your iPhone 6S or newer.
In any condition.
Seriously, in any condition.
That's right. Keep your tax refund and get the amazing iPhone 11. And because Sprint likes doing things differently, they're offering a 100% total satisfaction guarantee. While I think their network and savings are great, you don't just have to take my word for it. Try it out and see for yourself.
What a way to take it to 11.
Visit your local Sprint store, sprint.com, or call 800-SPRINT-1 today. iPhone 11 64 gigabyte, $0 a month after $29.17 a month. Credit applied within 2 bills. Requires unlock trade-in, 18-month lease, new line of service, and approved credit. If you cancel early, remaining balance due. Coverage and offer not available everywhere. Excludes tax, $30 activation fee, and restrictions apply. Guarantee applies to new lines of service within 30 days.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. If you need windows, call the exterior experts.
Call Crumweedy.
Mark Olson and Greg Olson of Crumweedy. Well, they run a third-generation family business that's been doing Chicagoland exteriors now since 1953. And for them, it's all about trust, and they truly share your values. Why windows from Crumweedy? Now, Crumweedy windows are not offered anywhere else in Chicagoland. They are exclusive, and that's why they can offer a lifetime material and labor installation guarantee. A lifetime. That's a great investment for your home. Also, the vinyl windows are 100% virgin vinyl. You're getting quality. Now, if your windows are needy,
call Crumweedy.
Right now, for a limited time, get 50%, half off installation on windows, and get financing with no money down and no payments for a year. The best deal on windows is right now. Go to homeisneedy.com. Homeisneedy.com.
Call Crumweedy.
Crumweedy Home Pros.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, if you thought it was fun to get a birthday message from the Mooch, Tony Scaramucci last year, Amy.
Yeah, I love that. That was a nice surprise.
Wait till this year.
Hey, it's Rod Blagojevich. I'm very excited to connect with you on Cameo. If you want a birthday greeting, an anniversary greeting, motivation, or any other kind of shout out, I can't wait to hear from you.
Do I really have to pay for that? I mean, can't I just catch him when he's running down the street?
You could
Because he
try.
always runs down our street. And
He'll probably charge you $150 if you see him on the street as well.
you know what he's going to do? He's going to be morphing into Ronnie Woo Woo, because Ronnie Woo Woo never used to charge for pictures, but now he charges.
Oh, sure.
You want him to show up at events,
So those
he's got to
who-
make a living. I don't blame him.
Those who thought asked the question, what was next for Rod Blagojevich? Yeah. Well, that's what's next. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. What message would you like Rod Blagojevich to deliver to you or a loved one? I've got one.
Okay, wait, let me start with you, Dan.
I would like him to, and somebody want to take this down so that
Okay.
when they
Oh, want me to
purchase
write
it
it
for
down?
me, my birthday is coming up in the spring.
Oh, by the way, I got you the funniest birthday card.
Okay.
I can't
Boy.
wait to read it on
So
the air
you
for you.
could really do some
Really
planning with your shopping.
Well, in fact, you see a card that fits someone you buy, it doesn't matter the time of year you buy it, and then keep it in your glove compartment of your car, and hopefully you remember to give it to that person.
I feel the same way about Rod Blagojevich recorded messages. Dan, happy birthday, and as a birthday present, I would like to admit to you and the world that I am guilty of the crimes for which I was convicted, and the sentence I received was fair and just. What's wrong with that?
Okay. Do you think, you know what? I might be able to get him to do that.
Hey.
How much does he charge? Hey.
Hey, Gov, you want the 150 simoleons or not, huh? Dance, monkey. That's what he is, right? He's an organ grinder's monkey.
Well,
like these other pseudo celebs on Cameo hawking their special message for money. Isn't that? Do you find that
what
unseemly?
What else is he going to do? I mean,
I don't know.
After he wrote that first book, which you read,
The world needs ditch diggers, Danny.
After you read that book, or he wrote that book, then the state legislature passed a law saying if you're a corrupted politician in Illinois, you cannot profit off of a book.
Oh,
which
so-
I think restricts his freedom of speech. But
So he lost $1,500 in royalties. Big deal. What else you got?
No. He'd make more than that on a second book.
He
Tales
would?
from Prison.
He
had to sleep on the top bunk. There was barbed wire out there, and if he went near that barbed wire,
Yeah.
they're gonna gun him down.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Not
scary.
exactly the Birdman of Alcatraz. It's not going to happen. He's his shelf life in terms of public notoriety, or much less interest, is dwindling rapidly.
Well, what else can he do? They took him.
Nothing.
They disbarred him. He can't practice law. He can't be a politician.
Get out there and
what? You want him to manual labor? Like you want him to work the
yeah,
line?
throw garbage or something. I mean, I don't mean to insult garbage men, by the way. It's an honorable job.
Yes, it is, and they get paid very well.
Yeah,
I love my.
So he may not qualify as a convicted felon. Maybe the garbage guys don't want him on the truck. They can't trust him.
He can get a union job. Maybe he can't even get a Chicago union job.
No, look,
you're right.
I don't know. Open maybe as felony Franks isn't still open, or maybe he could have been slinging hot dogs for felony Franks.
He could have been the spokesperson.
I mean, I'm
There's
happy.
still that shampoo company in Elk Grove Village.
If he's willing to go through John Ponder's 18-month program in Vegas, I'm willing to call John Ponder and see if I can get Blagojevich in.
What's that for?
The Hope for Prisoners. We've had him on the show.
Oh, that's right.
He's actually in line for a full pardon from President Trump because of what he's done to turn other people's lives around in addition to his own over the last 11 years.
Oh, and that's where President Trump spoke when he was in Vegas with those
right,
graduates.
graduation ceremony.
Yep.
So do an 18-month intensive program, have John Ponder kick your ass up and down the desert for 18 months, and then,
how much does he charge? Not that I want to know how much you guys spent on my birthday party.
$150, I think.
That's
I think
really?
it's $150, if I remember from
Spicy's
reading
$200. Sean Spicer.
Yeah, I mean,
but
just-
his proceeds go to, I think, Scaramucci's the proceeds go to brain tumor research.
Oh,
and Blago's goes to, I think, Blago. But he needs to make money. I mean, he's got to feed his family.
Why not?
Dick Bell's not going to pay for
Doesn't-
everything.
Doesn't Patty still have that real estate gig with Tony Resco? He make money. Candace in Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin. Also, he and Patty are going to they're going to be the morning show team on WLS, aren't they? Candace.
Okay. Hey, remember when Blago was on 560 on Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon?
No,
I believe,
WLS.
Before he went to
WLS.
Oh, WLS.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to tarnish your reputation, Dan.
Yeah.
Okay, but I thought he was actually pretty good, and
Sure.
he may not be good at talking about politics, but he might want to do something. He's better than the guys at WGN. I'd rather listen to him than the guys at WGN.
Maybe. Thanks for the call, Candace. If Patty
Bob
doesn't,
Surratt.
if Patty doesn't want to do it because she's got that going real estate concern with Tony Resco, maybe throw him in with Steve Cochran. That'd be a good tandem. What do you think? I mean, that'd be at least as exciting as Bob Surratt talking about not putting ketchup on a hot dog.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
All right, we're going to get to CPS canceling Columbus Day at 6:06.
But now let's head straight into that newsroom for news here at home and around the world. A very reliable man. Here is Mike Scott.
Well, a helicopter made an emergency landing in Stickney last night. We'll tell you why. Bruce Dold is out as publisher and editor-in-chief of the Chicago Tribune. Fighting Illini top Northwestern behind a career night from Alan Griffin. And the Blackhawks rally past the Lightning with a 5-goal third period. Chilly day ahead. Clouds and sunshine in your forecast. WIND, Chicago News Time. It's 6 o'clock.
Congress keeps working on coronavirus funding. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Democrats say the White House isn't asking for nearly enough. President Trump's reply last night.
This never happened to me before. Usually I ask for $2.5 billion. They say, we're going to give you 10 cents.
Now, there are still 60 confirmed corona cases in the U.S., and authorities keep trying to trace how one patient got it in California. She didn't travel or have known contact with anyone sick, but it happened in the county where Americans were flown back from China and that infected cruise ship in Japan. And there's a development related to those flights. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, Health and Human Services employees didn't have proper protective gear or training when they were deployed to 2 California military bases receiving Americans evacuated from infected areas. That's according to a whistleblower complaint now in the hands of the U.S. Office of Special Counsel. HHS Secretary Alex Azar was asked about it during a House hearing yesterday.
I'm not aware of any violation of quarantine or isolation protocols.
An HHS spokesperson told Fox News we take all whistleblower complaints very seriously and said they're providing all appropriate protections under the Whistleblower Protection Act. Dave?
Rachel, worldwide, there are more than 83,000 cases. Reaching Africa for the first time, an Italian now sick in Nigeria as the cases also grow in Italy, South Korea, and Iran, where 34 people have died, the most outside China. Democrats vote tomorrow in South Carolina, the next presidential primary. Joe Biden leads the polls there, but Bernie Sanders leads a new national Fox poll with 31%, 13 points ahead of Biden.
Trump says that we have a booming economy. Tell that to the half of American people who are living paycheck to paycheck.
Sanders rallied in Virginia, one of the 14 Super Tuesday states next week. North Carolina is another. Amy Klobuchar held a town hall there on Fox, talking about growing her supports.
And I've done it by reaching out and bringing people with us. I think that's what our nation needs right now.
Klobuchar is 6th in that Fox poll, just 5%. President Trump, as he's been doing before other Democratic contests, will rally tonight in South Carolina. America's listening to Fox News.
18 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560, The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 5 Chicago police officers hurt after 2 squads crashed into each other on the south side. It happened last night near 92nd and South Chicago Avenue. A 12-year-old boy is in fair condition after being found shot on the west side. Police say the victim reported that he was standing on the sidewalk last night in the 1600 block of South Holman. No arrests have been made. Suburban Chicago man charged with last year's beating death of his 5-year-old son is asking a judge, not a jury, to decide his fate. Andrew Friend, Sr., telling the McHenry County courtroom he wants a bench trial during a hearing on Thursday. He and the boy's mother were charged with first-degree murder in the death of their son, Andrew Friend, Jr. No one hurt after a helicopter made an emergency landing in Stickney. The FAA says the pilot made a precautionary landing last night at 40th and Ridgeland after getting a warning light. They tried to make it to Midway Airport but couldn't. The aircraft carried 2 people and landed after taking off earlier at the Vertiport Chicago heliport on the near west side. Chicago Public Schools will no longer celebrate Columbus Day. The city school board, they say, voting to drop the Columbus name from the October school holiday in favor of Indigenous Peoples Day. Now, the move is sparking a backlash by the Joint Civic Committee of Italian Americans, already mounting a campaign to reverse that action. Dominic Kubalik scores a hat trick in a 5-goal third. Blackhawks storm back to beat the Lightning 5-2 in Tampa. Alan Griffin had a big night, 24 points, including 6 3-pointers, propelling Illinois to a 74-66 win at Northwestern last night. Elsewhere in college hoops, UIC took down Detroit Mercy 84-67. The news is a service of Upwork. Upwork has the world's largest network of proven independent professionals, and here's an alphabetical list of them. Accountants, administrative assistants, animators, architects, well, you get the point. When you need in-demand talent on demand, Upwork is how. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher can break down the Bloomberg campaign.
No one's going to vote for Mike Bloomberg based on his ideas because he doesn't have any. He's got one. He wants to take your guns away. He's anti-gun. That much we know. And he's big nanny, big government, typical liberal. The government knows better than you do how much salt you can eat and how big your big gulps can be. He's all into that. But other than that, he doesn't have any core beliefs.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
The auto show is here, and that means the lowest prices of the year at Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream. Saving you money, real money, as in thousands of dollars, is what we're all about. If you're ready for a new or certified pre-owned used vehicle, now is the time to come into Joe Cotton Ford. Our auto show specials will prove that to you. Like 0% for 66 months on select 2020 Explorers plus $4,500 rebate, or 0% for 72 months on 2019 F-150s, or 0% for 66 months on 2020 Escapes plus $2,500 rebate. Come see why we're Chicagoland's best Ford buying experience. It's our promise to you, we'll treat you great and save you money. From 3 generations of our family to yours, for 45 years, you have our word on it. At Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream or at joecottonford.com.
To qualified buyers plus tax, title license, and dealer fees through 2/28/20. See dealer for details. joecottonford.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You see them all around town. Cintas trucks and their service reps taking care of customers. When companies use Cintas, you know they're confident and ready. Cintas helps with their fire protection and first aid and safety programs, handles their apparel solutions, and helps keep their facility and restrooms clean and stocked. So you know those companies care about their employees, facilities, and image. When all those things work together, they're ready for business.
Oh, I'm ready!
Get Cintas and get ready for the workday.
Now some better news brought to you by Canada Dry. Traffic's the worst, so grab a can of Canada Dry Ginger Ale and imagine instead you're gently floating through the cosmos on a soft, comfy recliner. Next time, relax with the real ginger taste of Canada Dry.
6:07 Team Hochberg Traffic Center time and Jim Telemonti.
I-57 remains closed outbound from 127th to Sibley after a fiery overnight wreck. Traffic's forced off at 127th. Northbound, all lanes are open and we're not seeing significant delays. Now Bishop 4 traffic stop and go from 111th to 103rd. The Edens is clear. The Kennedy still looks good. On Eisenhower, traffic's getting a little congested through the avenues. Mount Stevenson, see delays central to Pulaski and Ashland to the Ryan. 36 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is running 18 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tollway traffic moves well. Northwest Indiana looks good. For the weekend, Lake and Wabash sides of the loop will be closed for L trains. I'm Jim Telemonti on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, here's our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Intervals of clouds and sun. Chilly today, high 31. Clear and cold tonight with a low 16. Sunny day tomorrow, the high 39. Sun, then increasing cloudiness. Breezy Sunday, the high Sunday 57. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
In Chicago, 20 degrees. Cloudy skies. Your next news update, 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Looks like there's going to be no Sebastian Maniscalco grand marshaling a Columbus Day parade in Chicago. No. Columbus Day has been canceled in Chicago after CPS has, over the years, has, incrementally canceled all the important subjects that you instruct kids on so they grow up to be self-sufficient adults. Now they're closing ranks on Columbus Day.
Well, it was weird because on the CPS calendar last year, like we actually get a calendar that you hang on the wall. It said Columbus Day / Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yeah.
So we knew it was coming, but I didn't think it was going to come this far.
Oh, it's funny though too, because obviously they're canceling Columbus Day to instruct the imprisoned children in CPS schools on the Stone Age hunters from Western Europe who discovered America. And it's odd to call them indigenous, though. That's the thing that I can't figure out. Who are these indigenous people that discovered America? Because we know from the research of 2 leading archaeologists that it was Stone Age hunters from Western Europe who actually discovered America. I don't understand. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Now, I'm no historian like CPS board member Elizabeth Todd Breland.
Of course, she has a hyphenated last name.
Of course she does. She believes in the transformative potential of culturally responsive education. What she doesn't believe in is history, much like the 1619 Project. I mean, we're going to be in the business of redefining America's start date, then we might as well be in the business of redefining America's literal discovery, shouldn't we? Oh, just so you know, so you can share it with your friends. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Professor Dennis Stanford, this is 8 years old, this revelation. Professor Dennis Stanford of the Smithsonian Institute and Professor Bruce Bradley of the University of Exeter, the two leading archaeologists analyzing all of the evidence that was discovered of European-style stone tools dating back between 19,000 and 26,000 years. Discovered at 6 locations along the East Coast. 3 of the sites are on the Delmarva Peninsula in Maryland. They were discovered by archaeologist Darren Lowry of the University of Delaware. 1 is in Pennsylvania, another in Virginia. 6 was discovered by scallop dredging fishermen on the seabed 60 miles from the Virginia coast on what in prehistoric times would have been dry land. So, the similarity between later East Coast U.S. and European Stone Age stone tool technologies has been noted before, but all the U.S. European-style tools unearthed before the discovery or dating of the recently found or dated U.S. East Coast sites were from around 15,000 years ago, long after the Stone Age Europeans had seats making such artifacts. So they rejected any possibility of a connection until they discovered these tools that date back 19 to 26,000 years based on the testing and the chemical analysis of these scientists. So is that what you're anticipating then? This is going to be about celebrating Stone Age Western European hunters at CPS on Indigenous Peoples Day. It's just odd. I don't understand the term indigenous to describe them.
Right. 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line, 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment. Love to hear from Italian Americans who are in Chicago. There's 500,000 of them, by the way. And Sergio Giangrande, who's president of the Joint Civic Committee of Italian Americans, they said that this is a slap in the face for the more than 500,000 Italian Americans in Chicago and the 135 million Italian Americans worldwide.
Yeah,
and they're working to try and get it back, but does this affect their Columbus Day parade?
So turn the other cheek, Sergio. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it, tough guy? Italian Americans in Chicago, what are you going to do about it?
What can they do?
Are they going to give a quote to the Tribune?
Is it going to be the Indigenous People Parade then on Monday? I think what they should do on Columbus Day, as with Martin Luther King Jr. Day, stay in school and learn about these people. Don't be another day off from CPS, really?
Using the word learn in CPS schools is inappropriate. They should never be in the same sentence because it doesn't happen. CPS is one of the worst school systems in the Western Hemisphere. It is a criminal enterprise, robbing children of their future, most of the children, except for the small percentage that get to go to Peyton and magnet schools.
Yeah, lucky SOBs.
But I mean, who's going to do something about it?
Well, I don't know. Can Tony Soprano?
Mr. Cushman is teaching your son that if Columbus was alive today, he would go on trial for crimes against humanity like Milosevic in, Europe.
Your teacher said that.
It's in my history book.
So you finally read a book and it's bullshit. Look, you had to walk in Columbus's shoes to see what he went through. People thought the world was flat, for crying out loud. Then he lands on an island with a bunch of naked savages on it. I mean, that took a lot of guts.
Who cares? It's what he did.
He discovered America is what he did. He was a brave Italian explorer. And in this house, Christopher Columbus is a hero. End of story.
Tony Soprano's more of a historian than Elizabeth Todd Breland, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But I mean, in Chicago, nobody cares about children's education. I mean, except the rich to make sure they're in the British school or Peyton or Northside.
Or Latin.
Yeah,
Parker.
Latin. Yeah, the handful of schools where the rich and politically connected send their boys and girls.
UC Lab.
Oh, I mean, and I apologize for suggesting that there are two genders, where they send their non-gender normative children to decide, along with the educators, what gender they're going to be. Levi in Goose Island, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
You guys are killing me. Man, I'm just honestly wondering, who is this bored and miserable with their life that they have to, concoct this thing that just to drum up nonsense just for the sake of drumming up nonsense. I think it's stupid. I don't think it is warranted. And Dan, you're right. Amy, that is very offensive about children trying to learn in Chicago schools. It's not true.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
correct.
right.
Thanks for the call, Levi.
I mean, they're doing away with the holiday in CPS. What are they going to tackle next? Christmas?
Yeah,
maybe. What are they going to take away next?
Yeah, it's about erasing history. It's just about erasing history they don't like.
Jesus offended somebody. Maybe we don't celebrate his birth anymore.
And rewriting history in a way that they like. That's what it is. So I mean, I know. I mean, I know. That's just whatever. Whistling past the graveyard. I just thought it'd be interesting. At least here, you'll learn something about history. You're not going to learn it at CPS. Oh, by the way, there are some green shoots out there, and I wanted to share this note from Joseph O'Call at Earl STEM Academy in.
Oh yeah, in Inglewood.
In Inglewood.
Oh yeah, how's their chess team doing?
So right, Joseph O'Call, is math teacher, started a chess club at Earl STEM Academy in Inglewood, right, one of the worst neighborhoods in Chicago, one of the most violent. Remember this stat. Where I live in Streeterville, the average life expectancy is 90 years old. In Inglewood, 7 miles away, the average life expectancy is 60 years old. That is the largest spread between any two neighborhoods in any city in America.
And you're only 7 miles apart.
When he started this chess team at Earl STEM, he was opposed by the administration and the teachers. A chess team was opposed by the teachers and administrators. It hasn't gotten a dime's worth of funding from CPS. That $8 billion criminal enterprise can't find any money for a chess team for black kids in Inglewood. But they're going to tell us about culturally responsive education by eliminating Columbus Day. How about that juxtaposition? O'Call persisted anyway. He's had people raise money for him, including us and including our listeners. And so I wanted an update from Christmas because we collectively raised about $12,000 for O'Call so that he could take his chess team to participate in the state tournament in Peoria this month and then go to the national tournament in Florida in April. And he sent me a note because they just arrived there the other day this week. Hi, Dan. Our school's chess team will be departing this afternoon for Peoria after the kids shall have attended their classes. The kids are all excited to compete for the Illinois State Chess Tournament scheduled tomorrow and Saturday. I hope they will do well and make you proud because had it not been for you, and this is the collective you, all of us, including all the people who contributed, and we appreciate you. Had it not been for the collective you, they would have not been able to make it. Thank you, Dan. Thank you for touching the lives of these kids, all of the underprivileged kids of Inglewood. Thank you for making a difference in their lives. Please relay my best wishes to Amy, to Quinn, and to Justin. And to
I don't think he said Justin, but
and to the AM 560 family. I just I threw him in. Justin was implied.
Exactly.
So this is.
That's
I mean,
really
nice. but it's people who mostly don't have kids in CPS, don't even live in Chicago. Heard the story and heard our profile of Joseph O'Call and heard him explain what was happening in his own words. By the way, this is a guy who crossed the picket line, too, and is the bête noire of the teachers union.
Yeah, he's not a member.
Correct. So it's all these racist people who want to celebrate Columbus Day, who want kids in Chicago to be taught history, as well as math and reading, core subjects, so they could be successful adults. That's who saved the chess program at Earl STEM Academy. You did. Not any teachers union, not any politician. You and other people, not related to us, but other people who've raised money for Joseph O'Call and his chess team at Earl STEM Academy. And I hope these kids channel their inner Gary Kasparov and kick ass. But just understand how criminal, I'm going to continue using that word, how criminal this system is. That story and the juxtaposition of what all the deep thinkers on the school board and in political circles and at the teachers union, what they're focused on, and what somebody that nobody would have ever heard of if he just allowed himself to get pushed around and those kids to get pushed around as well, Joseph O'Call, and those kids that are beating the odds in every sense of the word in Inglewood.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line.
Terry in Rogers Park.
Christopher Columbus deserves the honor of a holiday. He discovered America. The indigenous people didn't.
Thanks for the call, Terry. I mean, that's an old way of thinking about it, sure. Apparently you have not had the opportunity to visit with Elizabeth Todd Breland and the smarter people, your betters, on the Chicago Public School Board. And when you do, and when you're properly educated, maybe you can take Sergio Giagrande with you so that all of you ignorant people who hate Native Americans and persist with trying to celebrate an oppressor like Christopher Columbus, you'll be properly re-educated. Just in time for Lori Lightfoot's re-election. Randy in Lake Geneva.
Yeah, I just Googled the fact that Christopher Columbus discovered America on October 12th. I don't know why it's celebrated the day it is, but couldn't the indigenous people pick another day to discover it?
Yeah, thanks for the call, Randy.
School off. I mean, they took away Christopher Columbus Day.
Do you think it's about trying to find another day so that everybody gets there to celebrate who they want? This is about rewriting history. Please see the 1619 Project. All this is a version of the 1619 Project at the local level. America was founded in 1619 when the first slave landed on in Northern Virginia. All America is and all she will ever be is slavery and Jim Crow, because America is racist in its DNA. That is the position of Elizabeth Todd Breland locally and the 1619 Project in the New York Times nationally. Please understand what's happening. Pay attention. Snap out of it. Don't be accommodating. This isn't about accommodation, Neville Chamberlain. Appeasement won't work. Lissa in River Forest.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. I'm actually calling on behalf of the Joint Civic Committee of Italian Americans. You mentioned Sergio Giangrande, our president. This is a slap in the face to all Italian Americans, not only in Chicago, but in the country, and all Italians around the world. Christopher Columbus, to us, is a hero. And everyone has their own opinion about who they want to celebrate and support, and we respect that. But for a group of individuals to take away a holiday that means so much to the Italian American community and what Christopher Columbus embodies, he was an explorer. He had the ability and the forethought to go into what everyone thought was a flat world and go beyond Italy and go beyond Europe to help create what this country is. And for the school board to take away this holiday is just a slap in the face to us.
Are you guys surprised that this happened?
Of course I'm surprised.
Really?
Chicago embodies Christopher Columbus Day. We have our parade every year on State Street. You should see the people that line State Street to help celebrate Christopher Columbus.
Well, what are you guys trying to do to get it back?
Well, I agree. That this has been trending this way for a long time. I mean, I remember Indigenous People Day flyers on the campus of Northwestern when I was there 25 years ago. I mean, this was like floating up the Chicago River for a generation or two, and now it's the perfect storm with one party that is focused on cultural Marxism rather than just about anything else, like educating children. This is all they want to do, and they've made it clear. And diversity means orthodoxy in the Orwellian speak of the Chicago Democrat machine. So I'm just surprised, because I'm sure there are many Democrats that are part of this Joint Civic Committee of Italian Americans too, and I wonder what they have to say about their brethren.
It's not just Italians. Alderman Patrick Daley Thompson is livid. You saw the quotes from the two aldermen from in Chicago.
Of course.
It's not just an Italian issue. It's who we honor as a country.
Absolutely.
St. Patrick's Day is next.
Well, of course, this is obscene.
Yeah, but can you do anything to get it back?
I can see the point. It's obscene. I don't understand how people are surprised by the obscenity. All we are bombarded with is obscenity and the whitewashing and rewriting of history. So for St. Patrick to fall next, sure. I don't know. Probably. So anyway, to Amy's point, what's the game plan?
We are going to exhaust all of our options, federal, state, and local. We are this Italian American community will be tighter than ever, because this is not right, and this is not right only for, as you were just saying, for Italian Americans, but for all ethnic groups.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the call, Lissa.
Thank you.
I mean, great. It's like celebrate our diversity. Whoa. Pump the brakes.
Now being Italian's bad?
Within these parameters,
God.
within parameters that are the width of the eye of a needle.
Where are we living? Honest to God.
I don't know. Boy, I tell you, more people should listen to this program. I mean, I was talking about this for a decade. Okay. John in Lincolnwood.
Hi, Dan and Amy. Good to hear from you. I just wanted to chime in about the chess segment you had on the CPS schools. It is unbelievable to me that they don't have money for a little after-school program for these kids, because in Lincolnwood, they actually did it. They had a Chess Wizards program for the kids for first and second graders. And, okay, they don't know anything about chess, but you know what? It's a good start. I've never seen the kids so excited. My child got a little, trophy for being in the chess club. He was so excited. Told me we have to go buy a chessboard and everything. And for them to say that it's all about the kids, they should be ashamed of themselves. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks, John. I mean, you understand, what does chess do? Teaches you
critical thinking.
Yeah. And that is an anathema to the political culture in Chicago. And certainly the educational culture, and I use educational in quotation marks at CPS. There's no room for critical thinking here. You are to be indoctrinated, and then you go out into the world and repeat the maleducation you got. You repeat the agitprop that was inculcated in you. That's the purpose of CPS. CPS is a breeding ground for Democrat voters. It's not about educating kids, and also to be a nice third-party administrator for salaries and benefits to the adults in the system. People, I've been saying this now for 20 years, 25 years since I've been an adult, and they'll roll their eyes, hyperbolic, bloviating, crazy. How about now? How much evidence do you need? Tom in Deer Park.
The peoples that we're referring to as indigenous made their way over from what is now referred to as the Bering Strait from Asia, which is now currently known as Russia. So in my mind, this is further evidence of Russian interference in our politics and electoral system.
All right, thanks, Carl. And a note here, too. Nobody is wanting to put, Native Americans in competition with Columbus. I mean, there's room for the complete telling of history. It's interesting. Just going back to the 1619 Project,
Right.
and also this here. Note the difference. Read the scholarship. Read the essays in the 1619 Project, and then go read the essays at 1776 Unites from black scholars. Make up your own mind. Listen to people who say, I want a comprehensive history, education and history for kids, versus the people that use phrases like culturally responsive education, like this, a person who was the point on the school board to eliminate Columbus Day. Who's selling you a bill of goods, and who wants people to be educated?
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Attention maintenance coordinators. If you manage an industrial facility, then you know how critical it is to manage a consistent maintenance staff. During outages, when you're shorthanded, Vans has your back.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Whether you need one person for 8 hours or a large crew for a month, we can supplement your maintenance team. Our personnel are trained mechanics familiar with all material handling processes. Our expertise extends to fabricating, sheet metal, millwright, and ironwork jobs. Our men can work alongside your repairmen, or we can provide an entire crew complete with equipment depending on your requirements.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND to schedule your maintenance team. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANSindustrial.com. Vans Industrial, working safe since 1964.
Oh, I love it. My balance of nature, can't live without it. Why? Well, right now it's important to boost your immune system, sleep well, but also eat well. And that means getting enough fruits and veggies, which you have to admit you're not doing on your own. And that's where balance of nature comes in. Just 6 capsules a day, 3 fruits, 3 veggie capsules. You're getting 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies. There's no preservatives or dyes. It's all natural, no GMO, gluten-free. And really, people's lives have changed by taking balance of nature. And the next success story could be yours. Right now, it seems like everyone has a cold or the flu. And don't even get me started about the coronavirus. So just do what you can to make 2020 a better year of health for yourself. And right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. So start your journey to better health today by calling 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago or simply go to balanceofnature.com. Discount code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Scott the Cow Guy Shalady, Fox Business contributor, joins us at 6:36 to tell me if I'm going to lose all my money in the market. Stay tuned for that.
And I'm going to ask him where we should invest, what stocks. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
18 degrees, another bad week for the markets. Stumbling to a close. All three U.S. indexes appear ready to end a bad week on a bad note. Dow set to lose nearly 500 points at the open on its worst week since the financial crisis of 08-09. The S&P and the NASDAQ also both poised to fall. A Turkish official says 29 Turkish soldiers have been killed in an airstrike by Syrian government forces backed by Russia. The death marks a serious escalation in the direct conflict between Turkish troops and Russian-backed forces in Syria. Lawmakers are assessing U.S. actions during the growing coronavirus threat around the world. During a House hearing yesterday, CDC Director Robert Redfield called the virus complicated and also said it can be asymptomatic.
The risk to the American public is low. We have an aggressive containment strategy that really has worked up to this time. 15 cases in the United States. Until the case that we just had in Sacramento, we hadn't had a new case in 2 weeks.
He notes that folks should not be afraid and should not be wearing protective masks unless they are already sick with the colds and flu. South Carolina's Democrat presidential primary tomorrow. Election officials say the state does not have a voter registration by party, so the primary is open to all registered voters.
I talked to all the people who are in those states that we have to win. Find me someone running for the Senate in North Carolina who wants them to campaign for him. Find somebody in Texas who wants them to campaign for him.
Joe Biden saying he's got Bernie Sanders' number in those two states, and he's predicting a win. We're watching a developing weather story over the Great Lakes traveling east. A blizzard is blowing across Lake Huron and the province of Ontario right now. It could dump up to 4 feet of snow on upstate New York today. National Weather Service says they may be under-predicting how much snow may actually fall. It's caused by lake effect snow, freezing air, and over warm water, and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts today. Law enforcement and company sources say the man who shot to death 5 co-workers and then himself had a long-running dispute with a co-worker.
And he is Anthony Farrell, a 51-year-old resident of Milwaukee. He was a current employee of Molson Coors at the time of this incident. Reasons for this is still under investigation.
Farrell had worked as an electrician at Molson Coors for 17 years. Several residents displaced as investigators are looking into what caused a massive Northwest Indiana apartment fire in the town of Mishawaka. A state senator wants Illinois parents to have the choice to opt children out of active shooter drills at school. Senator Scott Bennett once voted to require those drills. Blackhawks stormed back to beat the Lightning 5-2 in Tampa. Alan Griffin, a career-high 24, as the Fighting Illini were 74-66 winners at Northwestern. The news service of Staples. Staples has weekend-exclusive deals with big discounts like 50% off all True Red storage totes. Totes come in 8 sizes and are great for organizing your home or office. Hurry to Staples, where there's a whole lot more in-store this weekend. In-store only. Offer ends 3/1/20 while supplies last. Staples. 6:35, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
So we know you already like listening to AM 560 The Answer. But now, if you listen to us online, you could win a $200 Amazon gift card. Just listen to AM 560's online stream in any of the ways that are available at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, through your smart speaker, or through iHeart, TuneIn, or radio.com. When you listen, you'll learn how to enter to win. It's that easy. Stream, listen, and win. Contest ends soon, so enter today.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Hello, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and it's time for reparations. Reparations for the black communities are bigger than a single check. Reparations are an opportunity to repair the results from the African enslavement, the redlining, the war on drugs, police terror, and continued discrimination. It is time for an investment as target, as the policies that create our divide. I'm asking you to support the bill I sponsor. Please call your state legislator.
Paid for by drwilliewilsonfoundation.org.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and I've dedicated my life in the service of others. As Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, life's most pressing and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? By supporting the reparation bill, I am working for the descendants of slaves to gain generational wealth, education, housing, job, and service for senior citizens. Call your state representative to support this bill. God bless.
Paid for by drwilliewilsonfoundation.org.
Stop wasting energy. There's a better way. Your company could be receiving energy efficiency incentives by recycling waste heat from on-site power generation equipment and turning it into useful energy. The federal government is pushing utility companies to be more efficient. In turn, utility companies are offering incentives for your business. Charles Equipment can help get you up and running with cogeneration, also known as CHP, combined heat and power, a clean and efficient way to generate heat and power. CHP systems can supply at least a portion of a building's electrical load and capture waste heat from hot exhaust gases for use in heating, cooling, hot water, and dehumidification. Charles Equipment can install and manage the cogen equipment at your facility and help your energy use become 70 to 90% more efficient. Start making better, more energy efficient decisions and save money in the process. Call Charles Equipment 630-834-6000 or online at charlesequipment.com. Reliable industrial generators. They've got the power.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I went to have my blood test done a few weeks ago, and I met the doctor, and he was really encouraged by my progress. I brought him the 2 bottles, and I showed him what I was taking, and he started looking at all the ingredients. He said, "You may be onto something here." And I'm like, "Oh, wow." And he said, "You just keep that up. You're helping your health by doing that." And I'm like, "Whoa, endorsement by the doctor."
Don't wait to see what getting over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables every day can do for you. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com and make sure to receive this special radio offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it is a fit for you.
In our Team Hochberg Traffic Center, the latest with Jim Telemonte.
I-57 is still closed outbound 127th to Sibley after a major overnight wreck. Traffic is forced off at 127th. Northbound traffic moves pretty well. Looking at just about 17 minutes from I-80 to the Verge. It's your 422 minutes from 8094 to the Rhine, and the delays start around 130th. And the Rhine is running 24 minutes from 95th to downtown. Aiden's just a little tight inbound approaching the junction. On Kennedy, 24 minutes O'Hare to downtown, outbound 22. Inbound Eisenhower, delays start before 9th Avenue. 34 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 31. Inbound Stevenson, 39 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Tollway traffic still pretty light. And that's traffic. I'm Jim Telemonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next in our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Chilly day ahead. Clouds and sun, a high of 31. 20 degrees at O'Hare. Next news at 7, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, and our next guest, Scott Shalady, just tweeted out a picture. Scott the Cow Guy Shalady just tweeted out a picture of him wearing a Holstein mask.
I love it. I want one to go with the blazer that I have.
This is why he's on Fox Business, is because he leverages his brand equity to merchandise. I mean, that's the play.
Yeah.
That's the play. I don't know what I can do, but I'm going to take a page out of his book. All right, so some of the economic impacts of COVID-19 being felt, including with respect to the possibility that the Olympics in Japan will be canceled. That's a pending issue. Stories, car and driver story, coronavirus slowing China's auto market. Europe is starting to feel the effects.
And speaking of the auto market, our friend Paul Bryan just emailed me, said that Geneva International Motor Show has been canceled. Organizers wanted to go ahead with it, but the government shot it down.
Sergio Agnelli is spinning in his grave.
It's a big deal, and that's been shut down.
For more on the economic impacts of coronavirus and what they're likely to be in the coming days and weeks, we're pleased to be joined by the aforesaid Scott the Cow Guy Shalady. Scott, please take the mask off so we can hear you.
How you doing? How was yesterday at work?
It doesn't seem like the washout. It doesn't seem like the washout is over yet. What's your best prognostication?
You can't fix stupid. I mean, that's the problem. I mean, you know what, Dan? Not even, governments are people, and people overreact. But now governments can't. Well, they can't even, err on the side of caution anymore. Now they have to err on the side of hysteria. Right? Unless, because they're worried about somebody saying that they're not doing their job. So now it has to be absolute hysteria or you're not doing your job. So the markets are vastly oversold. Yes, we are going to have a slower growth. We're going to have some things, some points taken off of GDP. But to react to something that's a more contagious flu in this manner is absurd. But you can't get in front of it because there's so many people that are, and unfortunately there's some collateral damage, which are going to be some of those retirees that just lost 10% of what they've had in their 401ks for absolutely really no good reason. Now, the markets were overbought. Yes, we could have taken some off the top there, but the smart money's getting in. I mean, I'm just telling you right now, the smart money's getting in. So, let them do what they want to do, but this is going to create a lot of opportunity.
Are we heading to, I hate to say it, the R word, are we heading into a recession? Because of this, the worst.
Because of the flu.
Yeah, well, the Dow falling, the Nasdaq, S&P. I mean, the worst day in history for the Dow.
Yeah, they're falling because of a virus, an overreaction to a virus. They're not falling because of an overreaction to the baseline economy. The economy will slow a little bit because people are staying in their houses. And here's another thing, right? I do have some friends that are overreacting and saying that this could be something like the Spanish flu of whatever. And my answer is this. If you really believe that, stop the lip service. Sell your house, sell all your stocks, move out to a piece of land, buy a tractor, start planting your own food, get some clean water, and a lot of guns and ammo. Because that is the proper reaction to this hysteria that we're seeing right now. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't sign up for that, then you have to have the measured, calm response of, yes, this is something that's very contagious. It's just like the flu. We will have some way to treat it in 6 weeks. We'll probably have a vaccine in a year, and relax. So those are the two sides.
With the sell-off, I mean, part of this, it seems to me, is people who've done very well over the last couple of years, and they're basically saying, I've made enough. I'm going to take my money off the table. I was looking for a reason. This is the reason. And it's people that are sort of similarly situated, just making different decisions. Other people saying, I've got a lot of money. This isn't a big deal. I'm just going to ride it out. But there's enough of those people saying, I want to take my profits and take my money off the table. That's fomenting this spiral, yes?
Yeah, I mean, the whole movie theater is trying to get out one small door. That's it. Yeah. And, look, we had everything priced to perfection, which is also a bad thing, too. Well, not a bad thing, but that just makes things a little bit more tenuous. So we had everything priced to perfection, and then this virus opened up. And then, you know what, initially the markets took it fine. But then this last week, obviously, it's been an absolute bloodbath. bloodbath. And, for guys in the business like myself that like to see things open up and give us some opportunity, this is a perfect opportunity. So, we could be down again today, big deal. But at the end of the day, if you would have bought the high in the market every year the last 40 years, you could retire.
What about investing in gold, and what are some stocks that we might be looking at that would be good to buy? Because I know 3M, their plant up in South Dakota, they've been working around the clock making masks to protect people. I know Peloton. People at the gym were saying, I'm just going to get a Peloton and work at home so I don't have to be around people.
Yeah. What about the market for door jams where you can put knives and other weaponry?
It's a big
okay.
business.
Well, no, there's the stocks du jour that people are thinking are going to really give them a bump here because they are places that deliver to your door. You don't have to go outside. People are going to be working from home. Those will be short-lived. This will be in the rearview mirror. And I would say this: there's a lot of guys out there, and I look like a fool for a little while because I don't believe gold is a safe haven play, and a lot of folks piled into that over the last few days, and it's now starting to come off, even though the market's still coming off, because there's really only two reasons you want to own gold. It's a place to hide out your cash when we have times of inflation, and boy, oh boy, have we ever not seen inflation more than we do now, number one. And number two, it's another place to hide your capital when we might see some signs of Armageddon. Love Trump or hate Trump, we're not in the middle of any Armageddon. So if the first two things that I would say are the reasons to own gold aren't there, yeah, we had a lot of folks pile into it, but man, they're getting killed right now. The thing, if you still really want to go into something that's safe, the good old U.S. Treasury is the place to go still, and that's held up. I mean, we went under 120 this morning in the 10-year yield. So that would have been. Go ahead.
What about, so you talked about the smart money is getting in, and I got in yesterday, and I'll probably get in more today. And I'm no professional, I'm not licensed, so I can spout off like everybody else just as much as I want. But the question, the smart money getting in, when you say that, picking specific blue chip stocks with good-looking balance sheets rather than index funds. So you're getting, you're being specific and surgical rather than taking everything that may come.
Smart lazy is not specific. Smart is specific. I mean, there are some great stocks out there that have just gotten absolutely hammered for no good reason. And so if you loved them, 2 weeks ago, you got to really fall in love with them today. So those guys are going to be out there a little bit more surgically. But then there are other people that just don't have that ability to do that research, and maybe not just lazy, but they can't deploy 50 computers to find something for them. And you can just go out and buy a fund and take advantage of where the market's at right now, and that'll be okay too. It's just not going to be as surgical. So there's tons of opportunity. This is what the market really kind of needed. We were going up on hot air for a long time here, and this is, I say, a healthy thing to have happen. So it's going to create a great opportunity for most people.
Your friend Jim Urio, we had on the show yesterday, CNBC contributor, he said he supports a proposal floated by some, including former Fed Board of Governor Kevin Marsh, to have the Fed cut the rate by a quarter point to signal everything's okay. Is that something you subscribe to as well?
No. I love Jimmy, but I don't think you should cut rates because of a virus. I mean, yeah. I mean, we're going to see some GDP kind of tail off here a little bit, but I would also say this. The market did the work for the president. The market's done the work for Jimmy. We saw that 10-year yield dip below 1.2% already. So it's already kind of being reflected out there as is. The only reason I would say that the Fed might want to come in and do a 0.25% cut, it's just window dressing. It's not going to. Is a 0.25% going to make a difference to anybody? It's only a psychological move. It's not really a money move. And so I tell you what, I think with what's happening in Europe, we've got tougher times around the corner. I would save those bullets.
Now, this story got completely washed away by the coronavirus hysteria, but it was interesting nonetheless because this is obviously a long-term play. Morgan Stanley moving to purchase E-Trade and looking to expand and diversify their clientele, looking for the non-multimillionaire investor. Doesn't that say something about what they think the growth potential is for the economy and for middle-income families who are desirous of investing in the market to help prepare for their retirement?
100% correct, and I had a comment on it earlier. I mean, there was a couple of people that did notice it, and it's a big deal. I mean, obviously, they've just bought themselves a lot of customers, but there has been an undercurrent in the market here for probably, I would say, the last 5 years, where we've started to see more and more of these banks like Morgan Stanley have to kind of not pander, but they've gone after the middle class and the middle age to younger millennials, because that's been a big market. And believe it or not, they're saving more than we thought they would. And also, they're doing it through really not traditional manner. I mean, E-Trade's obviously going to be more traditional, but you've got robo-advisor at some places. I don't know what bank has that, but there's a lot of places you can do that just on your phone. So that market is really starting to become something that everybody's been going after, and it's been slowly but surely bubbling up. So that middle age and then middle age to millennial is really where these big boys are really starting to focus their guns.
Now, for our doomsday preppers in the audience, those who switch back and forth between us and Alex Jones, I wanted to.
I'm getting that water bob, okay?
Yeah. No,
Dude,
I know.
Scott, do you know about the water bob?
No, I don't.
It's a plastic container. It fits in your bathtub, and you can fill it up with water and have 100 gallons of fresh water for up to 16 weeks. It's brilliant.
So why don't you just move to the country and get a creek with a spring-fed clear water, and then you can save all this. There'll be no problem.
Yeah, Little House on the Prairie with Amy.
Yeah, I mean, then
And
plant your own
Peyton and Eli.
food becomes self. Yeah, exactly. Plant your own food becomes self.
Yes.
Well,
I mean, if everybody's going to die, that's what should happen.
Or I could go to Antarctica because it hasn't reached that
Perfect.
continent.
You guys in an igloo. Yeah. And then so that simple living will allow you to push more money into the water bob and get 20x return, I'm sure.
I feel a GoFundMe page coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. Send Amy to Antarctica.
I'll go. You're buying, I'm flying. That's right. It's my motto.
I wanted to but anyway, back to the this is a perfect segue back to the doomsday preppers.
Yes.
You mentioned gold. What about cryptocurrency, notwithstanding Steven Seagal's SEC problems for pitching B2G, Bitcoin second gen?
I still subscribe to what Warren Buffett has to say. If your investment strategy is that I think the guy standing in the line behind me is going to pay more for what I'm buying today, that's not a strategy. And so I think that you've seen some money pile into Bitcoin when we do have, when the markets get nervous because, and some folks have tried to tell me that it's a place that, money flies to quality there or flight to quality. No. You know what it is there's so many people around the world that have electronic access to our markets, and a lot of times the only things that they really have access to from India or wherever they're trading is gold and Bitcoin. And so when the world gets nervous, those are the only two ways that they can express their money, maybe in dollars somehow. And I think that a lot of that is from smaller investors around the world that make those places look like a place where you're going to see a flight to quality when it's really not. That's a false narrative.
Is the market overreacting to the potential dangers to supply chains? Tim Cook tried to signal yesterday that he was pretty optimistic that the Apple supply chain would hold. Warren Buffett earlier in the week said, he's not getting out of the market to try and also allay some hysteria. It didn't work. But what's your assessment of the market's reaction to the threat of supply chain interruptions as one of the other reasons why this has spiraled?
It's you know what, at best I think it shines a light, and you might want to say if you're the CEO, maybe we should have a disaster recovery plan or someplace else that we might want to do 10 or 15%. Maybe we don't need to be 100% reliant upon it. However, I agree with Warren Buffett, and I think that it'll all pass. It's just not going to be the dire, the world's coming to an end thing like everybody's saying it is. But I do think that you might want to think, and I think it was a good idea to say that Trump was in India, right? That could be a place where some of these supply chains move, and I'm sure that's why he was over there, kind of stoke some of that rhetoric there as well. I'm not a doomsdayer on this. I just think that people were using this as an excuse. There have been there's some nervous traders out there. There's some people that are erring on the side of absolute hysteria, and the mainstream media kind of stokes it. When it's all said and done, a year from now, you're going to look back and go, "What was I thinking?"
Scott, the Cow Guy Shalady, Fox Business contributor. Thanks for joining us, Scott. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The Lou Dobbs Financial Report is brought to you by Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Visit signaturebank.bank for your commercial banking needs.
I'm Keith Peters in for Lou Dobbs. Nestle orders its staff to avoid international travel. JetBlue is waiving change fees due to fears over coronavirus. Those stories next.
In a recent survey, investors shared what they felt were the greatest threats to their retirement. It's no surprise the most common threats include stock market volatility, economic uncertainty, conflict in the Middle East, the 2020 presidential impeachment, and election. Unfortunately, there are many threats beyond your control that can affect your retirement savings. At Goldco, a leader in precious metals, the team believes one way to protect your investment portfolio is with physical gold and silver. Goldco has helped thousands of investors safeguard their retirement, especially in times of uncertainty. In fact, if you call 855-971-2006, Goldco will send you a free 1-ounce silver American Eagle coin. And all you have to do is pay for shipping and handling. No obligation. 100% free. Call 855-971-2006 to get your free silver American Eagle coin. That's 855-971-2006.
Swiss food giant Nestle, makers of Kit Kat bars and other favorites, is ordering its 291,000 employees worldwide to stop all international travel until at least March 15th. The cutback in business travel is to allow health officials to get a clearer picture of the spread of the coronavirus. Cosmetics giant L'Oreal issued a similar travel ban through March 31st. In a related development, JetBlue Airways is waiving extra fees of up to $200 for changing or canceling a ticket bought through March 11th for trips planned before June 1st. JetBlue wants to reassure travelers that they won't be burned later if their plans change due to the evolving coronavirus spread. Plant-based food company Beyond Meat says it's tripled its fourth quarter sales and expects more growth. Please join us for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
After 25 years of building websites for all kinds of companies in many different industries, AmericanEagle.com realized a well-designed website is also your best employee, bringing efficiency, revenue, production, showing up every day, giving above and beyond to increase your bottom line. That's what a website designed, developed, and hosted by AmericanEagle.com has brought to so many clients. An AmericanEagle.com website is a 24/7 branding exercise, building rapport and thus brand equity while you sleep. Companies like WeatherTech have relied on AmericanEagle.com's website design and development and hosting capabilities for years. When some of the world's top brands need a reliable company to prepare their sites for high-traffic events, who do they call? AmericanEagle.com. Their clients have come to rely on them for a full line of website services, from consulting and strategy to digital marketing, hosting, and maintenance. Give the team at AmericanEagle.com a call today. 1-877-WEB-NOW. The number 1 is the number. AmericanEagle.com is the website. 1-877-WEB-NOW1 is the number.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity. This afternoon at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
The following is a paid political announcement.
In 2020, we will decide the direction of our nation for decades to come. Do you want more government in your life or more freedom? As a veteran, Jeannie Ives stands on the side of freedom. She took an oath to protect and defend our Constitution. Now, our American values are under attack. Our economic system, the rule of law, and our ability to create and pursue opportunity. In Illinois, Jeannie spent 7 years fighting corruption and reckless spending, because every dime government spends comes out of your pocket. In Washington, Ives will fight to balance the budget, defend our borders, grow the economy, and stand in the way of big government policies. You deserve to have your voice heard in Washington, not to be talked down to by elitist politicians in your own backyard. Choose the candidate who works for you. Choose Jeannie Ives for Congress.
I'm Jeannie Ives, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Jeannie for Congress.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Frank Vance, co-owner of Egan Vance Insurance Agency on Chicago's Northwest Side and a customer of Signature Bank. In my line of work, we pride ourselves on being there for our clients when they need it the most, and we recognize when someone does the same for us. As Egan Vance was expanding, we wanted to buy a much sought-after building in the neighborhood. We couldn't waste any time. I called Signature Bank, and that was all it took. I didn't have to talk to multiple people in siloed departments with multiple forms to fill out. One call did it all. As the one who was always looking out for my clients, it was a great change to know that my bank, Signature Bank, was looking out for me.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When it's cold outside, you can dress for it.
But when your furnace gives out, hey, a blanket fort can only do so much. So call your local 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. We'll replace your old furnace with a new high-efficiency one. And that beats a bunch of blankets any day. Right now, cozy up to big savings on a complete heating system. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
WIND. They need more coronavirus test kits in California. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Next few days, we have been assured of our capacity to significantly, exponentially increase the capacity to test. And this is something that, again, is critical at this moment.
Critical, Governor Gavin Newsom says, because they're monitoring more than 8,000 people, though nationwide there are just 60 confirmed coronavirus cases. One in California, the patient did not travel or have no contact with anyone sick, but is in the county where Americans were flown back from China and that infected cruise ship in Japan. They're still working on the response in Washington. Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in D.C.
Dave, Fox News has learned lawmakers are closing in on a package of around $7 billion to prepare for and fight the coronavirus. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says much of the effort will go towards developing an affordable vaccine.
Lives are at stake. This is not a time for name calling or playing politics.
Republican Senator Bill Cassidy, who's a doctor, says some of the money will be spent on face masks, and he says healthcare workers should get first dibs.
There will be personal protective equipment for those who are providing healthcare services and others as needed.
The CDC doesn't recommend face masks for people without symptoms. Instead, it stresses hand washing. Dave?
Rachel, globally, there are more than 83,000 cases reaching sub-Saharan Africa for the first time, and Iran is reporting 34 deaths, the most outside China. Global stock sell-off continued this morning. Overseas, futures are down on Wall Street the day after the Dow's biggest point drop ever. In South Carolina,
Senator Sanders' Medicare for All push will be a long, expensive slog.
Joe Biden is leading the polls ahead of tomorrow's Democratic primary, but Bernie Sanders leads a new Fox national poll at 31%. That's 13 points ahead of Biden. Blake Bloomberg, third at 16%.
I am running a campaign for change, a campaign for inclusion and honesty and compassion.
He's been focused on Super Tuesday next week. 14 contests, about a third of all delegates at stake. America's listening to Fox News.
Skies are partly cloudy. We have 18 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Scott. One person was killed after a crash led to a vehicle plunging off I-57 and onto railroad tracks, then catching fire. Illinois State Police tell us the two-vehicle accident happened around 2 a.m. this morning on southbound 57 between 127th and 147th. One of the vehicles involved in the crash plunged off the roadway and landed on railroad tracks underneath. The vehicle caught fire and then became engulfed in flames. The attorney for Marnie Yang won the right yesterday to test a mystery fingerprint that he said could reveal the identity of the real killer of Ronnie Reuter, even as Lake County prosecutors filed a motion to end Yang's exoneration effort. Yang was convicted in 2011 for the murder of Reuter, the pregnant then-girlfriend of former Chicago Bear Sean Gale. 5 Chicago police officers are hurt after 2 squads crashed into each other on the south side last night near 92nd and South Chicago Avenue. All of those officers are in fair condition. Former Glen Ellen man faces 75 years in prison after being convicted of the 2011 murder of his ex-wife. DuPage County jury found Juan Granados guilty yesterday of first-degree murder and criminal sexual assault in the death of Nancy Bustos. Several residents displaced as investigators continue to look into causes of a Mishawaka, Indiana apartment fire that broke out around 9:45 last night. And sports mascots that involve Native American imagery and traditions have long been considered offensive by some tribal nations. Now 2 Illinois lawmakers want to outright institute a ban. 2 representatives in the State House have introduced a bill in Springfield that would prohibit all schools from Native American logos, mascots, or other imagery unless they receive written permission from a tribe within 500 miles of the school. Schools that fail to comply with the ban would be ineligible to participate in the playoffs. Blackhawks storm back to beat the Lightning 5-2 in Tampa. Alan Griffin, a career-high 24, helping Illinois to a win at Northwestern 74-66. The news is a service of New Mucinex Night Shift. New Mucinex Night Shift fights your worst cold and flu symptoms like coughing, sneezing, and congestion, so you can sleep great and wake up feeling like a human. New Mucinex Night Shift for nighttime cold and flu relief. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
What's the easiest way to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables? Balance of Nature. By simply removing the water and air, Balance of Nature can take 31 whole fruits and vegetables and put them into quick and easy-to-eat capsules. With just 3 fruit capsules and 3 veggie capsules, you get the equivalent of over 10 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. That's a lot of stored energy that your body will love. So if you're looking for an easier way to get clean energy, go to balanceofnature.com and order your bottles of sunshine today. Don't wait to see what getting over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables every day can do for you. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com and make sure to receive this special radio offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
How can a fully stocked restroom improve your image? How can serviced fire extinguishers or a first aid cabinet make your employees more prepared? How can comfortable work apparel make your business more productive? For over 1 million customers, the answer is simple. Cintas. Cintas delivers everything you need to open your doors with confidence. Because helping keep businesses well-equipped, clean, and looking their best, that's our business.
Oh, I'm ready!
Get Cintas and get ready for the workday.
Come on, Al, read our latest fan mail.
Dear Al and Marty, you are the most spectacular car dealers of all time, especially Al.
Give me that. It's signed. Al totally didn't write this.
See, it's completely unbiased.
Lease a 2019 Lincoln MKC for just $383 a month and 0 down. Visit Chicagoland's greatest dealers, only at Highland Park Lincoln Superstore.
We're Al and Marty. Deal with us.
Plus tax, license, title, and $179.81 dock fee. 7,500 miles per year, 36 months, no security deposit. Offer ends 12/2/19.
Staples has weekend exclusive deals with big discounts like 50% off all True Red storage totes. Totes come in 8 sizes and are great for organizing your home or office. Hurry to Staples where there's a whole lot more in store this weekend. In-store only, offer ends 3/1/20 while supplies last. Staples.
7:07. In the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, here is Jim Telemonte.
Inbound Ryan at 71st Street, an earlier crash has cleared, but there are delays on inbound I-57 at the Bishop Ford starting at 111th Street. Actually, Bishop Ford delay starting out 130th. We're looking at 28 minutes, 80-94 to the merge. I-57, 26 minutes from I-80 to the Ryan. And outbound I-57 is jammed 119th to 127th. Outbound, it's closed 127th to Sibley after a major overnight wreck. On the inbound ride, that travel time is 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. Inbound Kennedy, delay start at Canfield, 32 minutes O'Hare to downtown. Eisenhower, 42 minutes, 390 to Burn Circle, and the Stevens at 42 minutes, 355 to the drive. That's traffic. I'm Jim Telemonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
It'll be chilly today, partly sunny, high 31, clear and cold tonight with a low 16. Mostly sunny tomorrow, the high 39. Some sun to start. It'll be clouds on the increase, breezy Sunday, high 57. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 18 degrees. Your next news update is at 7:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. President Trump had a little Black History Month roundtable with Black Republicans, conservatives, Trump supporters generally.
Our girls were there, Diamond and Silk.
Yeah, Diamond was sitting to his right, and you saw her actual name, which I didn't really ever know.
Rochelle Richardson.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But she had a beautiful red dress on, and she was very lively.
And Trump mentioned that he's rallying the faithful tonight in South Carolina.
Immediately, we have tremendous popularity in South Carolina. We're going to go down. Some people have said I'm trolling the Democrats, and maybe I am.
Yeah, maybe he is. Maybe he is trolling them, but so what?
Tomorrow's election day in South Carolina.
He also had a former NFL standout, Jimmy Brewer, say this during the confab.
I don't want to interrupt, but I gotta say this because it's Black History Month. Man, you the first black president.
Uh-oh.
And that drew a lot of opprobrium from the left.
Opprobrium?
Yeah.
I ordered that from Amazon yesterday.
Yeah.
To go with my chiffon dress.
Opprobrium?
Yeah.
It's a nice accessory.
Yeah, it is.
So, how dare, oh my goodness. It turns out that Brewer was an Obama supporter in 2008. He just didn't like the actual policies that Obama pursued and became a Trump supporter more recently. So all of this going on against the backdrop of CPAC this week, where you've got a star-studded lineup of conservatives. And our friend Julie Kelly, senior contributor for amgreatness.com, she got an invite to CPAC. We didn't.
Oh.
So we have to talk to people that
you got Mitt Romney'd?
We have to talk to people who are above us, who have clout that we don't have. Julie Kelly joins us from CPAC. Julie, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Now, don't feel bad. Like most parties, I invited myself. So no one, there was nothing formal extended my way.
Well, I expect to be invited. At least the overture, would be nice. So, Julie, how has CPAC been so far? Give us a highlight or two.
It's good. You know what I like about CPAC is just seeing the young kids who are here, college students, and knowing how tough it is on college campuses to be a conservative. So it's always nice to see young people here. Yesterday, I did watch the dramatic reading of the text messages between Lisa Page and Peter Strzok. So that was Dean Cain and Christy Swanton.
Mm-hmm. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, sure.
That was it was mildly entertaining. I mean, those of us who we all know the text, but apparently there are people in the world who have not heard the text and thought the dramatic reading was entertaining. So,
and
I think there was a high reading.
No hyperbole, right? It was all those were the actual text messages.
Yes, they were.
How was their comedic timing, say, compared to Mike Bloomberg at the South Carolina debate? I mean, because that's a tough act to follow, Bloomberg. Funny man.
Yes, well, Dan and I were talking about just how we marvel at Mike Bloomberg's comedic skills, and so I'm going to put that skit kind of along those same lines.
Okay.
Yes.
What's the mood in at CPAC among the sort of these are the grassroots and the opinion leaders and conservative media folks? Is there a great optimism about November 2020?
I think so. I mean, it sounds like it. Obviously, this party is Trump's party now, Republicans and conservatives. I think people are enjoying the spectacle of the Democratic, not just the presidential race, but what's happening now. There's a big New York Times piece a couple days ago saying how the establishment Democrats are going to pull out all the steps to make sure Bernie Sanders is not the nominee. So I think there's a lot of interest in what's happening on the Democratic side, but feeling confident about Trump's position right now.
How do you think President Trump, and with the fall in the markets, how is he going to put a positive spin on this?
I don't know. I mean, beyond his control, really. I mean, this hysteria over coronavirus, and of course, the Democrats are exploiting it as much as they possibly can. So I don't know. I mean, I think that when he says the markets are responding to something happening globally that they're trying to tackle, they're trying to manage this unknown. And so I think to that extent, I don't know that people are totally panicking about what's happening in the market right now. I think that he still has a long record of accomplishment that he can rely on as he's running, because we certainly don't want someone like Bernie Sanders in charge of a pandemic, right? So sometimes the contrast comes into view a little sharper when something like this happens.
Is Jeff Flake speaking before or after Romney?
I did see Joe Walsh yesterday. Can you believe it? So he
The singer?
I wish. At least he has some value in life.
What was he?
Maybe can he do cameos now?
Was he like squeegeeing cars outside the facility, or what was he doing?
Cars.
Yeah, parking, valet.
Now, come on, he's not going to get a real job.
Well,
no, he just walks
right.
around and waits for people to notice or heckle him. So he just kind of stands there waiting to be noticed.
Oh, that's
It's sad.
uncomfortable.
It's maybe like you know what he should do? He should
video things like
he should get on Cameo. And you may $40 to have Joe Walsh scream at somebody you don't like or something. I don't know. This is an interesting piece. Getting back to electoral politics and relevant people. Interesting piece from Tom Friedman. I mean, interesting in the sense that it's unintentionally hysterical. It's amazing the status that some of people have who have no idea what they're talking about in politics, have never been a part of a campaign, don't understand campaign dynamics, and just recycle these idiotic op-eds. So here's Tom Friedman's big idea about how to beat Trump. You put together a team of rivals. So get all the candidates and former candidates together, and then, put square pegs and square holes and round pegs and round holes. So Amy Klobuchar is the vice president. Bloomberg is the Secretary of Treasury. To show a little bipartisan savoir-faire, Mitt Romney will be a Commerce Secretary. Let's see, we got Michael Bennett, the senator from Colorado, will be your education secretary. Ro Khanna will be the labor secretary. And Cory Booker would be housing and urban development. And, so on and so forth. AOC would be U.S. ambassador to the UN. How about that? So, it's just easy. You just get everybody together, have a cup of tea, and you say, here's everybody's slot. And this is how we're going to present the wonder, the Hall of Justice superheroes, and we're going to capture the imagination of the public. It's just that simple. Oh, and Bloomberg, the president would be Kamala Harris for Attorney General.
Of course.
Mayor Pete for Home. He's got all of them. Tom Steyer would head he's a new cabinet position, Secretary of National Infrastructure. Yeah. What do you
about
think?
Andrew Yang?
I don't know if he made the cut.
Where's Marianne Williamson? How did she not make the cut?
Right, she'll be the White House psychic. I suppose.
Like the Reagans had, yes.
I don't know. Yeah, channeling Eleanor Roosevelt the way Hillary Clinton used to. Yeah. So what about that? It's you just put all this talent together in a team, and that's how you beat Trump.
I mean, wow, when you put that group together, it's pretty daunting, isn't it? I mean, it backfires in such a spectacular way, because when you really set it out that way, it's even scarier than just a regular Bernie Sanders presidency. Like, those people really could take charge of those agencies and departments. So
yeah, well, that's a good point. If Bernie Sanders were the president, or the nominee, or Michael Bloomberg the nominee, and ultimately won, that's right. That's exactly right. What about this effort this week that Trump is making, the overture to black voters in swing states with these community centers for black voices in 15 community centers in urban areas in swing states, and then this event he had that we were referencing at the outset of this segment at the White House yesterday?
I mean, I think it's long overdue. I think it's just been one more failure of the establishment Republican Party not to already have some of those offices around the country where they should be. And you see Black voters, I think, taking a look at the Republican Party for the first time because of Trump. And I saw some video the other day where a Black voter was asked, why are you considering voting for Trump, or why do you support him? And for the first time, a Republican. And this voter said, this is the first time any Republican has reached out to me or reached out to us. And so I think one of the legacies, party-wise, of Donald Trump is going to be that, his active outreach, his son's active outreach to Black voters. And, I think that they're willing to listen, which is great, because I think maybe they're starting to realize that the Democratic Party, all the promises they've made for decades, really haven't worked out like they should have.
Well, if that former Viking safety, Jack Brewer, who I mentioned at the outset, if he's right and Trump is able to get 20% of the Black vote, then you can turn out the lights, whoever they put up, because it's going to be a blowout. Julie Kelly, senior contributor for American Greatness, amgreatness.com, live from CPAC for us. Thanks for being our correspondent, Julie. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
You too. And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
We're all aware of national dealers that sell gold and silver. But national dealers? It sounds so impersonal and far away. Guess what? Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is a national dealer, and they're right here in our backyard. With Fox Valley Coins close by, you won't have to relinquish your personal information and money through the mail and hope that you receive what you ordered in the next days, weeks, or months. Most of the time at Fox Valley Coins, you just walk in the store, pick out what you want, pay for it, and walk out the door. It can be that easy. And if you're interested in selling your rare collector coins or currency, Fox Valley Coins specialize in the rare ones. Buying and selling individual coins and currency, as well as all gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and rhodium in coin, bar, and scrap form. They'll even make house calls when appropriate. Fox Valley Coins is one light north of I-88 on Route 59 in Naperville. They're closed on Sundays and have been dealing with integrity since 1981. Check out foxvalleycoins.com. That's foxvalleycoins.com.
What's the easiest way to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables? Balance of Nature. By simply removing the water and air, Balance of Nature can take 31 whole fruits and vegetables and put them into quick and easy-to-eat capsules. With just 3 fruit capsules and 3 veggie capsules, you get the equivalent of over 10 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. That's a lot of stored energy that your body will love. So if you're looking for an easier way to get clean energy, go to balanceofnature.com and order your bottles of sunshine today. Don't wait to see what getting over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables every day can do for you. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com, and make sure to receive this special radio offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results vary. Exclusions apply.
Contacts and glasses are such a hassle. I'd love to finally get LASIK, but
I'm going to stop you right there. If you want LASIK, then the LASIK Vision Institute has officially taken away everything standing in your way.
Isn't LASIK expensive?
Not at the LASIK Vision Institute. We're offering dramatically low prices, as low as $220 per eye, and an absolutely free consultation. See for free if LASIK is right for you by texting LIKE to 350350.
But I'm really busy.
A text only takes seconds. The LASIK procedure typically only takes 15 minutes, and most patients can get back to work the following day. The LASIK Vision Institute uses the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for as little as $220 per eye. Dr. Greenberg has performed 75,000 laser eye surgeries and is one of the most experienced LASIK surgeons in Chicago.
What's that text again?
Text LIKE to 350350. That's LIKE to 350350 to schedule your free consultation today.
This is Hugh Hewitt for townhall.com. As we look at the coronavirus today, we would do well to remember that serial under-response was the tragic story of U.S. and global reaction to the mislabeled Spanish flu of 1918. That pandemic claimed at least 675,000 lives in the United States and as many as 100 million around the world. The best guess of where it originated was, of all places, rural Kansas. There's no worse strategy than secrecy for safeguarding the public from a pandemic. It's true that panic is a threat, but secrecy and innuendo fuel panic. Already, the U.S. government is behind the curve despite President Trump's demand that it get and remain ahead of the coronavirus worries. The appointment of Vice President Pence to lead is a very good development. A virus can't be killed with words, but panic can be steamrolled with information. Hopefully, Vice President Pence and the entire task force won't settle for business as usual because this isn't a usual flu. Better to be accused of overreaction today than convicted later of indifference.
Publicpolicy.pepperdine.edu. AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, and 80s rock music icon Billy Idol is not aging gracefully. Not aging gracefully. I guess he wants to make some money. Because he's in a new PSA for New York City, for New York City's Sandinista mayor, Bill de Blasio.
Oh, no. What's he doing?
A no idling campaign. Do you see what he did there? Did you get
don't
it?
idle your car because of emissions, right? Air
No
quality.
idling public service campaign per New York City's rules that prohibit stationary vehicles, including buses, from idling for more than 3 minutes. Emergency vehicles and other that need power to operate a loading device are exempt.
Oh, thanks. So let the ambulance idle.
You get more
thank
3
God.
minutes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, here's what the city is doing, very much in keeping with the lives of others model of government that the Sandinista likes. Tickets for idling more than 3 minutes start at $350 and run up to
That's a flight to Vegas.
run up to $2,000 for repeat offenders.
Oh my God.
One man earned nearly $5,000 from the program, which institutes a bounty that lets citizens report scofflaws and get paid 25% of the fines.
It could be a full-time job.
What do you think? Bring
Look
it
at
to
this.
Chicago.
You know what that is? Street snitches.
Everybody, and you know what happens to snitches?
They end up in ditches.
That's right, with stitches. And so, what about? I mean, if it works in New York to save the planet, Ed Burke, before he goes to prison, maybe he wants to introduce that here as an ordinance. Think about that. And then this is a job creator too.
Right.
So you become a tattler on your fellow citizen. You get 25% of the proceeds. There's money in it.
312-642-5600 is your turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment.
Think about these people not as tattletales, not as snitches, as sacrosanct whistleblowers. Oh, the whistleblower. Do not mention any names. You cannot mention the whistleblower's name. We need to protect whistleblowers. That's what this is. How about it? Here's the Billy Idol commercial.
Hey, New York, Billy Idol here, rock star and environmentalist. If you're not driving, shut your damn engine off. Idling is polluting. I mean, bollocks. Are you trying to choke us all? This city has some of the most hard-working, creative and awesome people. Don't clog our lungs with your car fumes. Billy never idles, so why should you? Shut it off! Learn more at billyneveridles.nyc.
Billy Never Idles.
Oh, my God.
See what he has been reduced to. This was a rebel rocker in the 1980s, and now look at him. Now look at him. He might as well have a pea hat on. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Your reviews of the Billy Never Idles campaign, of course, but more importantly, the public policy solution to environmental pollution, and that is turn everybody into a whistleblower. Huh? What do you think? 25. Somebody made $5 grand.
Yeah.
They're just roll around the loop, or neighborhoods where people double park because they run in to do something,
Well,
and
what about
and get
food
the
delivery drivers? I mean, they
some of them, so those would be exempt.
Okay.
So they're exempt. But yeah, I mean, you want to turn your citizenry into extensions of the Stasi, right? I mean, the Chicago police can't do everything. Speaking of whistleblowers, just as a quick aside,
yes.
I didn't mention this yesterday. Remember how we were skeptical of the suicide of Philip Haney, the DHS whistleblower?
Yeah.
Well, the sheriff the county sheriff out there in California, the sheriff's office that discovered his body on a California highway with one gunshot wound outside his car with the gun outside his car, and it was initially reported that it was believed to be a suicide. The sheriff has since recanted, said that was misinformation, and has called the FBI in to help with the death investigation. So I don't know. We don't know. I'm not.
Because it's not a total MO of a suicide. You don't, I mean.
Well, right. And I'm not ready to do, hashtag Haney didn't kill himself yet. But
that's coming.
It may be. It may be. But it's just interesting. I mean, for that to be so widely publicized, that was the official statement from the sheriff's office, and for them to do a full 180 is really something.
Any mainstream media organizations cover that news? Not one.
No.
Not a soul.
No.
We're all focused on coronavirus.
And
the election.
And not idling.
Yes.
Because Billy said so.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Speaking of enlightened legislation, California has a bill that would eliminate boys and girls aisles in retail stores because obviously you don't need to separate because it's just a social contract. And so, girls shouldn't have to search around for jock straps and cups any more than boys. They should all be in one aisle. We'll talk about that with Libby Evans from Spectator USA at 7:37.
But now let's head into that newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
With the World Health Organization warning the coronavirus may impact just about every country on Earth, at least a little bit. U.S. officials are investigating a complaint about coronavirus safety. Whistleblower says federal workers at the coronavirus quarantine site in California were not given all of the adequate safety training available. Another bad week for markets is beginning to stumble to a close. All three U.S. indexes appear to getting set to end a bad week on a bad note, with Dow futures down, set to lose nearly 500 points, according to experts and watchers at the open. Lawmakers are assessing U.S. actions during the coronavirus threat. During a House hearing, CDC Director Robert Redfield called the virus complicated, said it can also be asymptomatic.
The risk to the American public is low. We have an aggressive containment strategy that really has worked up to this time, 15 cases in the United States. Until the case that we just had in Sacramento, we hadn't had a new case in 2 weeks.
He also notes those who should not be afraid and should not be wearing protective masks unless you're already sick with the cold or flu. South Carolina's Democrat presidential primary is tomorrow. Candidates hoping to score big among minority voters in the Palmetto State. Former Vice President Joe Biden has gone on record predicting a win. One person killed after a crash led to a vehicle plunging off I-57 and onto railroad tracks below, then catching fire. Illinois State Police says the two-vehicle accident happened around 2 a.m. this morning on the southbound side of I-57 between 127th and 147th. A police investigation into a possible sexual assault at Chicago's Lincoln Park High School is now closed without charges. The case is the subject of a pending lawsuit filed by CPS by a father who filed against CPS by a father who claims the district did not protect his underage daughter from being assaulted last month. The Fighting Illini will be hosting a new pet-friendly promotion during the baseball season. All dogs with people will get in free to the March 3rd home opener against Chicago State. And every Tuesday of the 2020 baseball season will be Dog Days in Champaign. Oh, by the way, Fighting Illini have a pretty good baseball team. Dominique Kubalik records a hat trick during a 5-goal third period. Blackhawks storm back to beat the Lightning 5-2 in Tampa. Fighting Illini basketballers, winners at Northwestern 74-66. The news service of Staples. At Staples, save up to 40% all month long on select chairs like desk or executive chairs for the office, gaming chairs for the home. Hurry to Staples, where there's a whole lot more in store. Offer ends $229.20 while supplies last. Staples. 7:33, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
What's the easiest way to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables? Balance of Nature. By simply removing the water and air, Balance of Nature can take 31 whole fruits and vegetables and put them into quick and easy-to-eat capsules. With just 3 fruit capsules and 3 veggie capsules, you get the equivalent of over 10 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. That's a lot of stored energy that your body will love. So if you're looking for an easier way to get clean energy, go to balanceofnature.com and order your bottles of sunshine today. Don't wait to see what getting over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables every day can do for you. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com and make sure to receive this special radio offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hey all, this is Jim Carr, co-host of the #1 rated manufacturing podcast, Making Chips, and a customer of Signature Bank. If you're a crazy busy company owner like me, you know that success in business is all about relationships. While many banks call themselves a relationship bank, Signature knows how to do it right. They made the banking relationship easy and on my timeline. Their technology, coupled with the attention from my personal banker, made the transaction as effortless and seamless as possible. Much thanks to Signature Bank for supporting Car Machine and Tool when we needed it most. Bam.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Sebastian Gorka here. Maybe you've been hearing about Relief Factor, the 100% drug-free supplement that helps a person's body deal with inflammation and pain. You've heard all the wonderful testimonials. Well, I have my own testimonial. For many years, my lower back pain was becoming a serious problem. The short story is, I finally gave it a try, and now I'm out of pain too. So if you're in pain, you can order the 3-week quick start for just $19.95. Go to relieffactor.com.
When it's cold outside, you can dress for it. But when your furnace gives out, hey, a blanket fort can only do so much. So call your local 1-Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. We'll replace your old furnace with a new high-efficiency one, and that beats a bunch of blankets any day. Right now, cozy up to big savings on a complete heating system. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1-Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it is a fit for you.
736. Get an update on the roads now. AM 560 Team Hochberg Traffic Center, Jim Telemonte.
I-57 remains jammed outbound 119th to 127th. The roadway is closed southbound 127th down to Sibley. Traffic forced off at 127th after a fiery overnight wreck. Inbound, the delays are from 111th to the Verge at 26 minutes, I-80 to the Ryan. Issue 4, 27 minutes, 80-94 to the Verge. Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. The Edens is light. Kennedy, 2 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 24 from Montrose, 17 on the Express. Eisenhower, 45 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson, 48 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The crash of Pulaski on the left shoulder. A brief delay on the northbound Veterans Memorial, 63rd to the Reagan Tollway. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next in our 1-Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. A chilly day ahead. Clouds and sunshine, a high of 31, 16 overnight, 39 tomorrow, and 57 on Sunday. 18 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Oh, boy. Miriam Ben Shalom is the first lesbian to be reinstated to the U.S. Army after being kicked out for her sexual orientation. So it makes what she had to say up there in about what's going on in Madison, Wisconsin, that much more interesting. Miss Ben Shalom speaking out against the indoctrination of children by the trans community, quote unquote. She championed the cause of parents in Madison who were suing the local school district over the issue. It's time to put a stop to the sort of indoctrination of children by the trans community, big pharma, and big medicine. As a teacher of 37 years, I wonder what goes on in the mind of a man who thinks that because he goes about in woman face, that gives him the right to force his system of beliefs on young children. This isn't what teachers are supposed to do, is it? Oh, boy. Miriam Ben Shalom has now been canceled. She'll never be allowed to talk again. For more on this topic of trans, we're pleased to be joined by Libby Evans, contributor, Spectator USA, Quillette, and the American Conservative. She has written much on this topic, and she has more offerings, as do we, more offerings in legislative form to discuss. Libby, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Miriam Ben Shalom, lesbian, self-described radical feminist. I mean, can't we all just get along? What is going on here?
Well, I think a lot of the problem has to do with as she's concerned about the indoctrination of children in this ideology. For most people who give thought to, trans people or trans ideology, the idea is that what adults do and how they want to present themselves is their business, as it is for all of us. But when it comes to these ideas being perpetrated in education during children's formative years of development, it's just really absurd to think that an educator should be telling a child not to trust their own bodies as reality, not to believe that their bodies are an innate part of the fabric of reality. And I think that's where a lot of people who have jumped on board with opposition to trans ideology in the past few years have come down on it.
And what are we to say about parents, high-profile ones, use them as an example, like Charlize Theron or Dwayne Wade, who say we should celebrate a prepubescent child identifying as different than their biological gender, and if he or she wants to have surgery to codify the gender to which they identify, then that's what we should do.
I think there's a few things to say about that. Some of these kids probably would have been gay. And we had a massive movement at the end of the 20th century into the 21st about how it should be socially acceptable to be gay. We've passed, gay marriage is legal now. So I think that's one thing. It's kind of like, why can't your kid just be gay? Why does the child have to be cured of their homosexuality by changing their bodies to reflect something else? Another thing is that putting these kids in the public eye, I think, does the kid a disservice because it assumes that this child is going to be hard and fast to this new identity and this new ideology and that they're never going to want to turn back on it. I have a friend who has a child who is trans and has been prescribed testosterone. And, the child was using the testosterone and everything, and she kept forgetting to use it. And so my friend was like, then I was reminding her to use it. And I was like, no, don't remind her. If she doesn't want to use it, she won't. And if she does want to use it, she'll remember to do it. But let her have this door out. Don't make this identity be a wall between her and everything else. We don't need to pack them into this box and just say, okay, you live in this box now. We all know it's very hard to walk something back once you've been wrong. No one wants to do that. Hey, I was totally wrong. I'm not really a boy. I'm actually a girl. If you're public with the transition of your child, then your child has to be public when they detransition. And I think it should be a lot easier to let kids turn around on that and get out of this thing once they've gotten involved in it if they don't want it.
Well, and
I think that's a problem. Yeah.
And to your point, the research into outcomes, remember that outcomes? We're supposed to be concerned about outcomes for patients, right? The research into this suggests that there are a lot of people that are wildly unhappy to the point of suicidal after having done
mutilating their
a
bodies.
transition, after having done a surgical
Right.
transition, that that wasn't what was wrong with them. That wasn't the challenge that they were really dealing with. It was, a mental issue, a gender dysphoria issue, and the cure turns out to be worse than the ailment.
Yeah, and it's not a cure. Like, trans surgery is not a cure. And you've had plenty of people who have undergone trans surgery coming out and saying, like, my dysphoria persisted. As you said, I was still suicidal. And it could be that, the only thing wrong with people is that we don't value life. We don't value ourselves. We don't value humanity. We think that human beings are the problem with the world, as opposed to, like, the world is our gift. We have this. We have to take care of it, but we also have to take care of ourselves. There's this whole environmentalism, which, I'm on board with a lot of environmentalist ideas, but why is it that the one thing in nature that we decry as a problem is ourselves? Why is everything in nature terrific except for human beings?
And we're just
We're a huge
shoving,
part of that.
yeah. But I feel like we're just shoving this down kids' throats so that they have to, have like a coming out party, or I'm
Mhm.
really a boy, but I was born a girl. I mean, when we were kids, we had a lot of tomboys. I was a tomboy. I wanted to be a
Mhm.
boy. I would never wear a dress. I wanted to play baseball. I didn't think it was fair that we didn't have women's baseball, blah, blah, blah. Young little feminist, I guess. But nowadays, if I felt like that, now they would probably give me surgery, give me testosterone.
There's been a lot of women who say that exact same thing. I played with my brother's trucks or whatever. I mean, I didn't, but that's because my brother
I
was
would have if you
12 years younger than me. I would have had I had access to his trucks, but I didn't. I think part of that too, what you say about all the kids coming out, is that we don't have rites of passage anymore in our society. When I was a kid, there were religious traditions that I was going along with. There was, when I was of the age that a lot of kids would be coming out, I had my confirmation at my church. I was preparing for that, and a lot of religious traditions have big rites of passage around the age of 13 all over the world. So I think that's a thing too. Like, what are we telling kids that growing up is? We're telling them that it's coming out. And I think that with parents, you mentioned Charlize Theron, Dwayne Wade, and Gabrielle Union. These are obviously very caring, attentive parents who just want to do the best thing for their kids. And for some reason, they think that medical intervention in their children's healthy bodies is the best thing to do, and to be super public about it. And they're public about it. Why? Because they want to create a safe society for their trans child to live in. But if it were me, I was talking to another friend whose daughter is presenting, with like gender dysphoria stuff at age 10. And he was like, what should I do? And I was like, pull her out of school, move to the woods, get her chopping wood, start doing something so that survival becomes the primary goal. Not starving or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, start taking care of your own self, and so that you're not dealing with all of this other stuff that is pretty irrelevant to actual life.
Continuing on in terms of how this is presenting itself around the country, California legislation has been introduced that would require all retail department stores with 500 or more employees to do away with boys' aisles and girls' aisles that require children's products to be offered in a single and require children's products to be offered in a single gender-neutral section, because girls shouldn't have to search for jock straps and cups any more than boys.
Yeah, I think that this is a problem we've invented for ourselves. When I was a kid, we just had toys, and it wasn't like there was a pink aisle and a blue aisle. But then what happened is you had advertisers coming on board. You had complaints about how toys weren't inclusive enough. So the next thing you know, we have pink trucks, and we have like Legos for girls specifically, and all this stuff. I don't remember ever feeling like there were toys I couldn't have access to because I was a girl instead of a boy. They were just all toys, and they were in primary colors. There wasn't a ton of pink toys. There wasn't a ton of blue toys. So this is a problem we created for ourselves out of a desire to be more inclusive. And it turns out that, dividing everybody up and putting them into boxes is not inclusive, but a divisive action. So we're like reversing something that didn't need to be reversed in the first place and isn't a problem. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous.
Uh,
Like, how about we just put all the clothes on one rack?
Absolutely.
You know?
Well, that's what they want to
We
do.
absolutely
you have a
should.
boys section for clothes and a girls section for clothes, and they want to get rid of those.
Right.
Because
Because it's not like their bodies are different, or their clothes.
That's going to make it
boys'
hardest for
bodies and
moms
girls'
who need to
bodies
shop for
different.
their kids.
Right, which is already so
It's already,
annoying.
I hate it.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
It's always interesting to me when people want to prevent research from being disclosed publicly. It's always interesting to me when people don't want to present evidence to support their argument or have no evidence to support their argument. And so one example of this is the research that was done at Brown University about trans as significantly a social contagion.
Right.
That was suppressed. And now we have, and you wrote about this, research the Canadian government promised to provide about hate speech against people based on their gender identity, and they won't provide it. Why is that?
That's right. Yeah, well, in Canada with Bill C-16, the idea is that when Trudeau came to office, he promised that any legislation before it went through would be accompanied by this gender analysis, a GBA, a gender bias, and I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
But would be accompanied. Yeah, it would be accompanied by this analysis, and everything has been accompanied by this analysis. But then Bill C-16 comes in, which is talking about extending protections to gender expression and gender identity, two things which don't actually have any real definitions. It was not accompanied by a GBA. And when it was discussed in Parliament, there were some representatives who said, hey, where's the GBA? And then they voted for it anyway. So a woman put together a petition to get the GBA, and it was denied. You know, she was trying to get an MP to back it for a long time, because that's how it works in Canada. If you want to have a petition before the House of Commons, you have to get an MP to authorize it. And she went after several MPs. She eventually sent out an email to every MP in Canada asking for someone to authorize her petition, and she got one positive reply. Everyone else was like, nope, we're not going to touch this at all. Within 24 hours, she had more than the necessary number of signatures to get this released, and it's still not going anywhere. You know, she's filed the equivalent of the Freedom of Information Act request in Canada, and you get the sense that they either don't want to release it because they didn't do the report, or they don't want to release it because it shows that protections for gender identity and expression put women and children at risk. It's one of those two things.
Yeah, it turns out that the trans bien-pensant is greater than the need for transparency or evidence. That's what we see happening over and over again, it seems to me.
Yeah.
She is Libby Evans, contributor to Spectator USA, Quillette, The American Conservative. Check out her pieces at both postmillennial.com, which I'll tweet out, as well as at thefederalist.com on this topic. Libby, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thanks. And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Hello, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and it's time for reparations. Reparations for the black community are bigger than a single check. Reparations are an opportunity to repair the results from the African enslavement, the redlining, the war on drugs, police terrorists, and continued discrimination. It is time for an investment as target as the policies that create our divide. I'm asking you to support the bill I sponsor. Please call your state legislator.
Paid for by drwillywilsonfoundation.org.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and I've dedicated my life in the service of others. As Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, life's most pressing and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? By supporting the reparation bill, I am working for the descendants of slaves to gain generation wealth, education, housing, job, and service for senior citizens. Call your state representative to support this bill. God bless.
Paid for by drwillywilsonfoundation.org.
It's almost time to take my balance of nature. I'm so excited because my immune system, it's getting better. It helps boost your immune system. You have to sleep well too, but you have to eat well, and that means eating enough fruits and veggies, which you have to admit you're not doing on your own. And so many people have cold right now. So many kids have the flu right now. And keep yourself safe. Live a healthier 2020 and take Balance of Nature. And right now you can get free shipping and 35% off your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. So call their operators, which are also coaches. They are standing by. The number is 800-246-8751, 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago or simply go to balanceofnature.com. Discount code Chicago.
The following is a paid political announcement.
In 2020, we will decide the direction of our nation for decades to come. Do you want more government in your life or more freedom? As a veteran, Jeannie Ives stands on the side of freedom. She took an oath to protect and defend our Constitution. Now, our American values are under attack. Our economic system, the rule of law, and our ability to create and pursue opportunity. In Illinois, Jeannie spent 7 years fighting corruption and reckless spending because every dime government spends comes out of your pocket. In Washington, Ives will fight to balance the budget, defend our borders, grow the economy, and stand in the way of big government policies. You deserve to have your voice heard in Washington, not to be talked down to by elitist politicians in your own backyard. Choose the candidate who works for you. Choose Jeannie Ives for Congress.
I'm Jeannie Ives, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Jeannie for Congress.
America has a retirement crisis. 10,000 people turn 65 every day with alarmingly little savings. Company pensions are a thing of the past, and 401k plans are riddled with fees and expenses. We're living longer, so our retirement savings need to last longer. And these record low interest rates are virtually punishing savers, forcing many people to take on far too much risk in the stock market. So what can you do to help ensure you don't become another statistic of this crisis? The answers are in a free educational workshop with Tom Fortino, featured expert on Fox Business, Forbes, and the host of the Alpha Wealth Hour heard on AM 560. Learn about the 5 major threats to your retirement, creating lifetime income, and the Social Security decision, plus tax-free strategies to help make the IRS a smaller partner in your retirement, and how to pass along more wealth to the people you love. Seats are available in multiple locations throughout Chicagoland. Visit alphawealthgroup.com and click on the Classes tab to reserve your free seats now. alphawealthgroup.com.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results vary. Exclusions apply. Contacts and glasses are such a hassle. I'd love to finally get LASIK, but
I'm going to stop you right there. If you want LASIK, then the LASIK Vision Institute has officially taken away everything standing in your way.
Isn't LASIK expensive?
Not at the LASIK Vision Institute. We're offering dramatically low prices, as low as $220 per eye, and an absolutely free consultation. See for free if LASIK is right for you by texting LIKE to 350350.
But I'm really busy.
A text only takes seconds. The LASIK procedure typically only takes 15 minutes, and most patients can get back to work the following day. The LASIK Vision Institute uses the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for as little as $220 per eye. Dr. Greenberg has performed 75,000 laser eye surgeries and is one of the most experienced LASIK surgeons in Chicago.
What's that text again?
Text LIKE to 350350. That's LIKE to 350350 to schedule your free consultation today.
How can a fully stocked restroom improve your image? How can serviced fire extinguishers or a first aid cabinet make your employees more prepared? How can comfortable work apparel make your business more productive? For over 1 million customers, the answer is simple. Cintas. Cintas delivers everything you need to open your doors with confidence. Because helping keep businesses well-equipped, clean, and looking their best, that's our business. Oh, I'm ready! Get Cintas and get ready for the workday.
People all over Chicagoland love their traditions, like going to the auto show. Well, here's another Chicagoland tradition, going to Napleton after the auto show for some of the biggest savings around. Right now at Napleton Ford in Libertyville, buyers can save hundreds, even thousands with auto show incentives on the huge Ford inventory in stock today. Napleton Ford in Libertyville. Napleton, second to none since 1931.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. Let's talk credit card debt for a minute. If you feel you're carrying too much of it, you're not alone. The average household in the U.S. carries over $8,000 in credit card debt. Ready for some good news? With a cash-out refinance from Quicken Loans, you can quickly and easily put some of the equity in your home to good use by paying off a lot of that high-interest credit card debt. A great way to take cash out is with our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%. APR 4.23%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN to learn how taking cash out with a 30-year fixed mortgage might be the right solution for you. And for a record 10 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Rates subject to change. Pay 2% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
AM 560.
The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Are the Russians responsible for those airstrikes against Turkish forces in Syria? The New York Times can't figure it out. We'll see if Jed Babin can. And then don't forget, it's open mic Friday
that's right.
at 8:38.
Yeah, don't forget to call 312-642-5600. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Congress is getting another coronavirus briefing. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It's happened in the last hour at the House. Democrats have said the White House isn't doing enough or asking for enough funding. Vice President Pence, who's in charge of the response, told Fox,
keep the politics out of this. Follow the facts, follow the science, and work the problem.
There are 60 confirmed cases in the U.S. One in California is a patient who didn't travel or have known contact with anyone sick with the virus, though she's in a county where Americans were flown back from China and that infected cruise ship in Japan. A whistleblower has a complaint about those flights.
Health and Human Services sent employees to evaluate hundreds of Americans rescued from China without the proper protective gear. The department says it is looking into this complaint. It says it takes it very seriously.
Fox's Aisha Hosni, there are more than 83,000 corona cases around the world. Fox's Simon Owen has more live.
Dave, the list of countries with cases of the new coronavirus growing again. New Zealand, Azerbaijan and Nigeria among the latest places to report infections. Major outbreaks in South Korea, Iran and Italy are all still growing. Italy's neighbour, Switzerland, now banning any events involving more than 1,000 people. A region of Japan has declared a state of emergency today. And the president of Mongolia has been placed in quarantine, according to state media, after he visited China. Dave?
Simon, stocks may be out to fall again. Dow futures down about 400 the morning after the biggest point drop ever. The market is on pace for the worst week since the 2008 financial crisis. There's one last day to campaign before the South Carolina presidential primary. Joe Biden leads the polls there. Bernie Sanders leads a new Fox national poll of Democrats with 31%, 13 points ahead of Biden.
The reason we are going to defeat Trump is the American people do not like frauds.
Sanders rallied in Virginia, one of the 14 Super Tuesday states next week. President Trump will hold a rally in South Carolina tonight. America's listening to Fox News.
18 degrees in Chicago. We're looking at, right now, mostly cloudy skies, partly sunny for the remainder of the day. Here are the stories we're following this morning on WIND Chicago. One person was killed after a crash led to a vehicle plunging off I-57 and onto railroad tracks, then catching fire. According to Illinois State Police, the two-vehicle accident happened around 2 a.m. this morning on southbound I-57 between 127th and 147th. One of the vehicles involved in that crash plunged off the roadway and landed on train tracks underneath an overpass. The vehicle caught fire and then became engulfed in flames. The attorney for Marnie Yang won the right Thursday to test a mystery fingerprint that he says could reveal the identity of the real killer of Ronnie Reuter, even as Lake County prosecutors filed a motion to end Yang's exoneration effort. Yang was convicted in 2011 for the murder of Ronnie Reuter, the then pregnant girlfriend of former Chicago Bear Sean Gale. A 12-year-old boy is in fair condition, shot on Chicago's west side. Police say the victim reported that he was standing on the sidewalk last night in the 1600 block of South Holman when he heard gunfire and realized that he'd been shot. A suburban Chicago man charged with last year's beating death of his 5-year-old son is asking a judge, not a jury, to decide his fate. Andrew Friend Sr. telling the McHenry County Judge Robert Wilbrandt he wants a bench trial. Chicago sports, Blackhawks storm back to beat the Lightning 5-2 in Tampa. Fighting Illini 74-66 winners over Northwestern. 8:03 is our time. Time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Signature Bank. Visit signaturebank.bank for all your commercial banking needs. Now the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Deirdre Bolton, and this is the Fox Business Report.
More selling is expected on Wall Street today as investors consider warnings from companies reporting about how the coronavirus will impact their business. The Wall Street Journal says the travel sector has led the sell-off this week. Royal Caribbean Cruises is down more than 20%. American Airlines Group is down 19%, and Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings is down more than 18%. The virus also had an impact on business for China's online search engine Baidu. It says the extension of the Lunar New Year holiday break and closure of stores cut into its advertising business. Wayfair stock is slumping after it reported a wider than expected loss in the holiday quarter. Foot Locker's earnings were stronger than expected, but its sales declined in the holiday season. It had popular styles in stock, but shoppers were not buying as much. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola, invested in you.
8:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
With all the noise and political spin of the news cycle, it's easy for the things that really matter to get lost. Sources with knowledge cuts through all the clutter to bring you biting commentary on the week's events. This Sunday at 3 p.m., your hosts Eric Cohn and Joe Kaiser bring you insight on politics and policy, as well as culture, sports, food, and everything else you need, so you can understand what's happened this week. It's Sources with Knowledge this Sunday at 3 p.m. right here on AM 560. The Answer.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
If you've been in business more than 20 minutes, you've probably printed your logo on all kinds of promotional products. We all know logos work because they're on everything from the top of skyscrapers to the bottom of shoes. Ever wondered why? Or how to best use your logo to grow your business? Let us show you today for free. We're 4imprint, promotional product experts at your service. We're giving away the latest issue of Amplify, the digital magazine that reveals promotional product success stories absolutely free to everyone who texts BOOST to 88988. At 4imprint, we make your logo look perfect on thousands of promotional items. With our 100% guarantee, it'll be right the first time, on time, every time. Your free e-magazine will reveal invaluable insights that can attract new customers, build your brand, and grow your business. Get the latest issue of Amplify absolutely free by texting BOOST to 88988. That's BOOST to 88988.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
What gives one company the edge over another? Maybe it's not one thing. Maybe it's taking care of lots of things that help a business run smoothly. In other words, Cintas. Cintas has products that help your people stay safe and apparel programs that convey the right image. They service fire protection equipment, deliver and stock restroom supplies, and make sure facilities are clean and ready. Because when all those things work together, you're in business.
Oh, I'm ready!
Get Cintas and get ready for the workday.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com.
It is 8:07, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, and Jim Talamonte.
I-57 is jammed outbound from 119th to 127th. The road is closed 127th to Sibley due to a major overnight wreck. And all traffic forced off at 127th. Northbound delays are 111th to the merge. It's 26 minutes. I-80 to the Ryan, finish at 427. And the Ryan is 31 minutes, 95th to downtown. Eden's 19 minutes, like Cook Junction. Kennedy, 50 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 28 from Montrose, 17 on the Express. Eisenhower, 45 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson, 55 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Northbound Tri-State, it's heavy from the 83rd Street Toll to the Hinsdale Oasis and the Reagan Tollway to the Ike. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Here's our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Intervals of clouds and sun. Chilly today, high 31. Clear and cold tonight with a low 16. Sunny day tomorrow, the high 39. Sun, then increasing cloudiness. Breezy Sunday, the high Sunday 57. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 18 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. New York Times reported yesterday afternoon that airstrikes that hit Turkish forces in Syria, killing 33 Turkish soldiers, wounding more than 30, were the action of the Russians, and then they issued a correction saying, we don't know if they were the actions of the Russians. So wonderful. New York Times, the paper of record, the great lady. Let's see if Jed Babin can clear this up for us, and then we'll get into a little bit of talk about COVID-19.
And we've tweeted out a new
well.
picture of the show.
Yeah.
I think the show should be called Calm and Crazy. You're the calm.
Right.
I'm the crazy.
I'm in street clothes, and you're dressed up like you're walking into the Chernobyl reactor.
Exactly. You have to see it. It's on Twitter. We'll tweet it out again for you.
Jed Babin is the former U.S. Deputy Undersecretary of Defense, contributor to the Washington Times and the American Spectator. And Jed, thanks for joining us.
Good to be here, guys.
So the attack on Turkish forces in Syria, how should we understand it?
Well, we should understand it that A, it may be exaggerated as to its effect. B, it's highly unlikely that anybody other than the Russians would have done it, except for the Syrians and the other people who are there, like the Kurds. Who knows who did it? At this point, we really need to understand it as really nothing much more than another propaganda exercise by Turkey.
Does this at all, should this at all prompt calls of, all for one and one for all, the NATO mantra, Turkey attacked?
Hardly. Number one, we really haven't had an ally in Turkey for more than a decade at this point. So it's questionable to me whether they have, they have the right to invoke Article 5 of the NATO Charter, which you're referring to, the Common Defense Article. But I don't think that much, if any, of the NATO nations would respond if they even did that. I think they know that, but it's quite possible that Turkey, or Erdogan rather, will try to invoke that article and bring us into a bigger war. I don't think even he wants to start that big a war on his home turf, which I think is a pretty powerful disincentive for him doing that.
All right, one more topic before we get to COVID-19, and that is this piece that you wrote. I believe it was American Spectator, if I'm recalling correctly, that the next coup against Trump is afoot. A lot of people joking about one more stab at impeachment before November, and maybe not so funny. You suggest that that report that was leaked out and then partially recanted or certainly recast by those outlets that reported the leak, like CNN, about Russia already trying to meddle in 2020 to the benefit of Trump, that could be the Dems' next path to an impeachment gambit before November?
Well, it's no joke. I think that the Democrats have little or nothing else to try to battle Trump with. So they are going to try another big investigation. They may actually try another impeachment against him before November, and this is certainly the beginnings of it. We see a briefing by the now former acting Director of National Intelligence, Admiral Joe McGuire, and one of his deputies, to the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, the Adam Schiff Committee. If there's one place you want to leak something so that you can make absolutely sure that it's, to send something, to brief them, to make sure it absolutely gets leaked to the New York Times and the Washington Post, the HIPC is the place to go. And that's where they went. They didn't brief the president. They didn't brief the National Security Advisor. They went to the HIPC. They went to Adam Schiff, knowing damn well it was going to get leaked. And it was. And, it's just another fantasy, as far as we can tell, that the Democrats and the people in the so-called deep state are putting up to try to damage Trump.
Now, let's move over to my favorite subject because I'm obsessed with the coronavirus. Studying figures of people who've gotten, contracted the disease and those who've died around the world. But do you think President Trump is leading our nation in a positive manner? This is what he said last night while he was celebrating African American History Month.
It's going to disappear. One day it's like a miracle. It will disappear. And from our shores, it could get worse before it gets better. It could maybe go away. We'll see what happens. Nobody really knows.
Your thoughts?
Well, I think Trump is basically right in saying, well, nobody really knows. It could break out here, could break out significantly. We just don't know. I think the question really comes down to what is being done to try to prevent the widespread epidemic in the United States. And I don't think anybody really knows. We've quarantined some people coming back from China. There are some restrictions on screening other people, but nobody really knows what's going to be effective. Look, Iran is totally immersed in coronavirus right now. Italy has very large outbreaks. There are going to be other outbreaks in other places. Disease spreads very far and very fast. But the basic point here is don't panic. Don't let the media panic you. It's not a really serious disease. Very, very, very few fatalities from it. And, it's going to be like a case of the flu or even a bad case of the flu. But it's not something you can't survive. It's something that, it will pass. Trump is right in that, but the Democrats are going to try to make political hay out of it no matter what he does.
I wanted to get your reaction to what I find to be just stunning examples of anti-Semitism in Western Europe. I spoke last night on my syndicated show with Seth Fransman from the Jerusalem Post about this. You just can't believe it. I couldn't believe one instance, and then there was another one right after. First, in the Belgian city of Aalst, this carnival where people are parading around in Nazi uniforms with long noses and big fur hats to parody Orthodox Jews.
And long beards. I couldn't believe it.
This is a place where 25,000 Jews were deported from occupied Belgium during World War II to Auschwitz. And then after that, even worse, in Campo de Criptana in Spain, Nazi uniforms, people dressed up as concentration camp inmates, crematoria trains in this parade. Now, it's a small group of people, and some people locally have defended them. Oh, that's just our sense of humor, while officials at the national level have denounced them. But, I mean, Seth Fransman said something interesting to me I want to get your reaction to. The reason that they're parodying Jews in this disgusting way is because they can. And you'll note they're not parodying anybody else, not by ethnicity, because if you were to parody a Muslim or you were to parody somebody else, that an African immigrant, those are off limits. But the Jews, it's fine to do this even in the most disgusting, ahistorical way.
Well, but that's history. That's the way it's always been throughout Europe since Charlemagne. Basically, you're talking about a minority that doesn't do a very good job of protecting itself. I mean, you parody a Muslim, they're going to riot. They're going to kill people. You parody any other minority, they're going to at least protest and scream and yell to the media. The Jewish people don't do that. And what the Jewish people also don't do is protect themselves very well, except in Israel, where, obviously they've got a very effective defense community. But this is something that's happened time after time after time. The Jews are always a convenient scapegoat. They don't defend themselves, and it's not like the governments there have no knowledge of this.
Right.
It's not like the governments in Europe have no means of dealing with it. They choose not to because it's convenient for them to ignore it.
Speaking of convenience in the face of cultural Marxism, or worse in the case of the anti-Semitism in Western Europe, but back here, new Pentagon-funded study, 66% of non-trans military members support the inclusion of trans people in the military. 71% of the public supports trans inclusion in the military, too. So there you go. It's popular, therefore it should be instituted in the military post-haste.
No. I mean, number one, there's only room for so many genders. I have a very good friend who used to be the skipper of a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier, which is one of the biggest ships ever. And he said, okay, I got room for two genders. I could probably do with 4. I can't do it any more than that. I can't bunk them separately.
Four seems
You know,
like
so
a pretty
basically-
reasonable compromise to go as high
Well,
as 4.
you know,
yeah.
I have no idea. I mean, the second point that I've raised, and this is not at all funny, tax money should never ever be spent on having sex conversion therapy for somebody who is just not sure who they are. It's not my problem who they are, and if they want to get changed from a boy to girl or backwards, that's their problem. It's not mine. The tax money should not go for that kind of experimental and quite frankly, voluntary surgery.
And but in terms of why not? You're just saying it's an accommodation problem with the
they're not
70.
gonna pay for my plastic surgery.
No. But an accommodation problem with these 75 different genders that you can select from Facebook. That's just an accommodation problem with the military. It's not a cohesion issue with the units.
No, it's absolutely a cohesion issue. I think we've seen, that we've had adaptation to gays in the military. That is something that certainly is not a cohesive force in terms of unit cohesion and other things. And you're talking about now, spreading women into the combat forces. That's being done. It's been done, and you have you're going to get a certain point where women are going to be in special operations. I think that's a not cohesive idea. I think it's a bad idea. I think there are certain things where, look, women can fly a plane, even fighters, as well as a man can. But if you're a spec ops guy and the guy next to you gets wounded and he weighs 225 pounds and you weigh 125 pounds, you're not going to be able to carry him out of the line of fire. It's a matter of unit safety, cohesion, and reliability.
One more question I need some help understanding. I don't get, I'm watching right now that putty-faced molester of dogs, Donna Shalala, on CNN. That's a PJ O'Rourkeism. Got to give credit. She is talking about how outrageous it is to say nice things about Castro, like his wonderful literacy program that Bernie Sanders was very impressed by. But I don't understand why people are so upset about, up on the left, are so upset about Bernie saying nice things about Castro or Ortega or the Soviets. I mean, this is the same crew that was extolling the virtues of Hugo Chavez 5 minutes ago. So what's the problem?
Well, I don't see that there's a problem. This is just a matter of what the left always does. I mean, Castro was a murderous, torturing, oppressive dictator, but hey, that's the way these guys roll. This is what they usually hang out with. So I don't have any problem with Bernie saying that, but I do have a problem with any American president believing any of that. Bernie is probably the best candidate that Trump could possibly run against, except possibly Hillary. I'm sorry.
He is Jed Babin, former U.S. Deputy Undersecretary of Defense, contributor to the Washington Times and the American Spectator. Jed, thanks as always for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. On AM 560, The Answer.
Come on, Al, read our latest fan mail.
Dear Al and Marty, you are the most spectacular car dealers of all time, especially Al.
Give me that. It's signed. Al totally didn't write this.
See, it's completely unbiased.
Lease a 2019 Fusion SE for just $339 a month and 0 down. Visit Chicagoland's greatest dealers, only at Highland Park Ford Superstore.
We're Al and Marty. Deal with us.
Plus tax, license, title, and $179.81 doc fee. 10,500 miles per year, 36 months, $0 security deposit. Offer ends 12/2/19.
Hey, parents, grandparents, it's never too early to think about what activities your son or daughter or grandchild will do this summer, and you want your kids to have fun during their break but provide some structure and preparation for the next school year. Give them a gift. Consider St. John's Northwestern Summer Academy in beautiful Lake County, southeast Wisconsin. St. John's Northwestern Summer Academy offers fantastic summer programs such as academic opportunities for personal success and adventure camp. Academic Ops offers 7th through 12th graders 5 weeks of summer classes, supplemented with fun activities throughout. Now, Adventure Camp is just how it sounds, an exciting camp that instills leadership, adventure skills training, and having fun. You got to see this. Go to YouTube, go to Amy Jacobson, and then type in SJNMA, and you'll see how much fun they have. Peyton and Eli went, and they loved it. So please consider St. John's Northwestern Summer Academy for your son or daughter. There's an overnight day camp or day camp programs. And again, it's only a 2-hour drive from Chicago, and you feel like you're in a different world. Is it Gorgeous campus, 110 acres. And yes, Dan, they have an 18-hole golf course as well. So for more information and to sign up, go to sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
When it's cold outside, you can dress for it. But when your furnace gives out, hey, a blanket fort can only do so much. So call your local 1-Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. We'll replace your old furnace with a new high-efficiency one. And that beats a bunch of blankets any day. Right now, cozy up to big savings on a complete heating system. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1-HOUR.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Hello, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and it's time for reparations. Reparations for the black communities are bigger than a single check. Reparations are an opportunity to repair the results from the African enslavement, the redlining, the war on drugs, police terrorists, and continued discrimination. It is time for an investment as target as the policies that create our divide. I'm asking you to support the bill I sponsor. Please call your state legislator.
Paid for by drwillywilsonfoundation.org.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and I've dedicated my life in the service of others. As Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, life's most pressing and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? By supporting the reparation bill, I am working for the descendants of slaves to gain generation wealth, education, housing, job, and service for senior citizens. Call your state representative to support this bill. God bless.
Paid for by drwillywilsonfoundation.org.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I love the product. I absolutely love the product. It's amazing, and I'm sure you hear all kinds of great reviews, but I put my mom on it. I put another friend of mine, everybody that I talked to about it. I said, listen, you need to take this. It's amazing. It has helped me. My blood pressure was terrible. My energy was really low. I started taking it, and it was just amazing. I've been using it for a while. And my mom, she went to the doctor. She said, the doctor asked her, well, what are you doing? She said, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything, because she thought it was going to be bad. She said, well, your numbers are good. She loves it.
Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com, and make sure to receive this special radio offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Yeah.
This song plays every time you walk in a room, right? I've got to be a macho, not a macho man, a macho dad.
This was the song that they played for Trump in India, that big rally that he and Moody were at.
Namaste Trump.
Yeah, Namaste Trump. Yeah.
It was
it's probably the last group you'd think of.
A lot of bro hugs there.
You know how artists get real sensitive when Republicans or conservatives use their music at campaign rallies? Think about bring Bruce Springsteen back in, the 80s with Reagan, Born in the USA. You know? Yeah, that's enough Village People, for goodness sakes.
They're not upset about that, are they?
No, the point is that you have Adele has told Trump to cease and desist using Skyfall. Or there's so many examples of artists, musical artists, asking, telling, demanding that Republican politicians, John McCain, Trump, George H.W. Bush, Reagan, to not use their music. So it's just refreshing and somewhat shocking that the one group that says that's fine is the Village People.
Oh, they said it was okay?
The Village People
There's going to be a story about how they complained about it.
Standing up to their leftist fans, posted this message on Facebook. Since our music is not being used for specific endorsement, the president's use is perfectly legal. He's remained respectful in his use of our songs, has not crossed the line. If he or any other candidate were to use any of our songs in the manner that would suggest our endorsement or in a promo advertisement, that would cross the line. Like millions of Village People fans worldwide, the president and his supporters have shown a genuine like for our music. So
there's millions of Village People fans?
Absolutely. They sell millions of records. I mean, the point is that the Village People of all musical groups take the Michael Jordan position of Republicans buy sneakers too. It's just sort of stunning. I mean, so a hot hat tip, a tomahawk chop
What's your favorite Village
to
People
the Village
song?
People.
Oh, just say you don't
A
have one.
favorite Village People song.
Y-
That's
YMCA?
What's my favorite Cubs memory? I don't really have one.
Neither exists.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just Speaking of Macho Man and Trump, wanted to make mention of this too, because I know you're a bit of a fat shamer.
I'm trying to get better.
2 decades since the federal health officials said the U.S. was experiencing a growing obesity epidemic.
Yeah, and what's the percentage now of Americans who are obese?
At the turn of the century, it was 30.5% were obese. What's the difference between obese and morbidly obese? What's the BMI difference? You should know this.
I don't know.
What's the weight to height ratio? Meaning, here's obese, meaning they had a body mass index of 30 or higher.
Well, our governor's morbidly obese. I know that.
Yes. His BMI is 100. He's perfect because he's a perfect square.
Congratulations.
He is as wide as he is tall.
You're the winner. I know, and you don't see that in the campaign ads, and then you see him in person, and you're like, oh.
Well, you think that
Man.
sounding this warning siren got people's attention? If you think that, you would be wrong. 30% BMI of 30 or higher, obese at the turn of the century, according to data released yesterday by the CDC.
Oh, no. And the grand total is?
Shouldn't they be focused on coronavirus? The grand total is, in 2017 and 2018, the obesity rate reached 42.5%. That's pretty good. That's
We're
about
getting close to 50. We're getting close to half the population being obese.
That's not bad. That's about 30% increase over the last 20 years. It's people got down to it.
We're eating ourselves to new records.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Highest among black adults at 49.6, though it was above 40 for Hispanics and non-Hispanic white adults. The obesity rate was lowest among Asians at 17%. I'll say it. If I said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Why can't we be more like the Asians?
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
It is our open mic segment, Friday's open mic segment. So spout off with whatever nonsense or conspiracy theory or hopefully salient points you have to make.
Yes, call 312-642-5600. Line up now to get your spot. But right now, let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
19 degrees in Chicago at 8:31. Another bad week for the markets coming to a close. The Dow is set to lose nearly 500 points at the open based on futures trading. The S&P and NASDAQ are also both poised for fall. President Trump rallying in South Carolina tonight on the eve of that state's Democrat primary. Lawmakers are assessing U.S. actions during the growing coronavirus threat.
Our response involves multi-layered, aggressive containment, and potential mitigation measures as needed.
At a House hearing, CDC Director Robert Redfield, the Iowa Wild hockey team is feeling the effects of coronavirus. The Iowa Wild head equipment manager Richard Krause says every part of the American Hockey League team's uniforms are manufactured in China. He says he's been asking players to take it easy on sticks.
I just told the guys, I said, listen, no breaking them over the boards intentionally if you're upset, no trying to, stomp them or do anything, intentionally.
Krause says teams across the league are facing stick shortages because coronavirus has shut down much of China's manufacturing. Well, you may have seen this. Tomorrow marks the 29th of February, an event that happens once every 4 years. It's Leap Day, an extra day added to the calendar every 4th February to keep our seasons from getting a bit out of whack. One person was killed after a crash led to a vehicle plunging off I-57 and onto railroad tracks and catching fire. Illinois State Police tell us the accident happened around 2 a.m. A 12-year-old boy is in fair condition after being shot on Chicago's west side. There have been no arrests. Chicago Public Schools will no longer celebrate Columbus Day in favor of Indigenous Peoples Day. Dominic Kubalik records a hat trick in a 5-goal third period. Blackhawks storm back to beat the Lightning 5-2 in Tampa. Alan Griffin, a career-high 24, including 6 3-pointers, helping Illinois to a win at Northwestern 74-69. 66. You may recognize that name. His dad, Adrian, played for the Bulls and won an NBA title last year as a coach with the Toronto Raptors. The news, a service of Staples with weekend exclusive deals with big discounts like 50% off all True Red storage totes. Totes come in 8 sizes and are great for organizing your home. More in-store this weekend. In-store only. Offer ends 3/1/20 while supplies last. Staples. 8:33. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher wants to try to understand Joe Biden.
The Democrats are in free fall. They don't know what to do. Biden is calling people lying dog-faced pony soldiers.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were, but now you got to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you.
What does that mean? Please, someone?
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I love the product. I absolutely love the product. It's amazing, and I'm sure you hear all kind of great reviews, but I put my mom on it. I put another friend of mine, everybody that I talked to about it. I said, listen, you need to take this. It's amazing. It has helped me. My blood pressure was terrible. My energy was really low. I started taking it, and it was just amazing. I've been using it for a while. And my mom, she went to the doctor. She said, the doctor asked her, well, what are you doing? She said, I'm not doing anything. Because she thought it was going to be bad. She said, well, your numbers are good. She loves it.
Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com and make sure to receive this special radio offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
AM Woodland Outdoor Design is the outdoor luxury living contractor you know and love. And now they're excited to announce a new member of the family, Lots Custom Carpentry. From kitchens to bathrooms to basements and everything in between, Lots Custom Carpentry can help you with unique designs, exquisite finishes, and the finest craftsmanship. From the first design consultation to the big reveal, you'll experience a true partnership with the Lots Custom Carpentry team and deal directly with the owner. Make it happen. Live in luxury both inside and outside your home. With so many landscape and carpentry contractors to choose from, use a team that shares your values of hard work, honesty, integrity, and patriotism. AM Woodland Outdoor Design and Lots Custom Carpentry. They'd be honored to work with you.
AM Woodland Outdoor Design and Lots Custom Carpentry. Proudly serving Lake, McHenry, Northern Cook, and Kenosha counties. Visit amwoodland.com. That's amwoodland.com or call 847-224-2167.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com.
It is 8:36 in the Team Hochberg Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
I-57 remains closed southbound from 127th to Sibley. All traffic forced off at 127th. The backup extends to 119th. Inbound delays start at 111th. It's 26 minutes. I-80 to the right. Fish 427. Ryan is running 31 minutes, 95th to downtown. Eden's 18 minutes, Lake Hook to the junction. Kennedy, 48 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 28 from Montrose, 22 in the Express. Eisenhower, 44 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson, 50 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Seeing delays on the northbound tri-state from the 83rd Street toll to the Hinsdale Oasis, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. Northbound Veterans Memorial, 63rd to the Reagan Tollway. It's traffic. I'm Jim Alamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. A chilly day ahead, clouds and sunshine mixed, and a high of 31. Currently 19. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by HealthQuest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. Every Saturday morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, it's our Open Mic Friday segment. Taking your calls, anything under the sun that you want to discuss. I'm going to start.
Okay, well, let me give the number again. 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment. But why don't you just call us? Even if you've never called us before, now's the time.
Sure. Oh.
Grab a line, though.
Hear from
'cause
some
filling
new
up
voices.
fast.
Yeah. All right, this is from, you know how Leaping Lanny Poffo was the poet laureate of the WWF?
How did you know?
Yeah.
That I knew that.
Robert Badgley is quickly becoming our poet laureate for Chicago's Morning Answer. Now, he goes by a nom de plume, R.A. Droit. See what he did there?
Yes.
But I'm not going to let him get away with that Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain deal. It's Robert Badgley, accomplished attorney, and he offers this for your consideration. We're going to start with a poem and hope that elevates the discussion. The Dems careen through yet one more debate, this time down south in the Palmetto State.
Oh.
The amateur hosts from CBS could not control that night's forensic mess.
Oh.
Decorum on the stage did not obtain. The din recalled a fast-approaching train. The moderators are one collective dunce, while aging Marxists shouted all at once. Their arms all raised to show their willingness resembled yoga at the Villages. Oh, that's pretty good. That's very nice. The Villages in Orlando.
Yes,
that senior community.
I'm familiar with it.
That's pretty
that
good. That's pretty good. And it was a wonderful poetry slam quality reading from me, too, if I do say so myself.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, all right. Megan, on the south side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, both of you. I just wanted to quickly ask a question, Dan, because you're so smart.
Yes,
and
true.
Willie Wilson was just talking in your last break, a commercial about reparations.
Yeah.
He said we need it in order to build generational wealth among the African American community. And I wanted to know, is generational wealth a real thing?
Why don't you ask Governor Jellybelly if generational wealth is a real thing? It's a real thing. Thanks for the
So
call.
does it pass down from generation to generation? I mean,
Well, yeah, thanks. I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, of course it's a real thing. Somebody ultimately makes it somewhere along the line, and it's not always stolen or by hook or by crook, as the left alleges.
No, but kids blow it.
Well,
Don't
yeah.
kids blow the money?
Usually third generation, right? Isn't that the handle?
Right.
Thanks for the call, Megan. Well, yeah. Or they do even worse. They get themselves elected governors of states, and then they blow up that state, in addition to blowing up themselves.
Right.
Yeah, like Jelly Belly. EJ in Rockford.
Yes, thank you, Dan and Amy. Great show as always. The U.S. Socialist Party had a perennial presidential candidate named Norman Vincent Mattoon. In 1948, they announced they would no longer run him because the Democratic Party had co-opted their entire platform. Yeah, and if Trump is such a Hitler, why does he advocate for you to keep your own guns?
Thanks for the call, EJ. Bob on the highway.
Yeah, I back in the 90s, somehow I acquired a bumper sticker. I never peeled it off, but it's just been in my basement workroom for 20 years, and it says, "I'm not happy with I'm not happy with Clinton or her husband. I'm not happy with President Clinton or her husband." And it was kind of a play on words, who actually ran things back in the 90s. And as the 2016 election was approaching, I looked at that bumper sticker and said, oh, my God, wouldn't that be ironic if she actually landed in the White House? So I just smile at it now every time I see it, knowing she didn't make the cut. Just wanted to share that bumper sticker.
Thank you, Bob. Memories like the corner of your minds.
It's a collector's item. Don't get rid of that.
Well, the way you and Hillary were. Tom in Libertyville.
Good morning, Team Morning Answer. Thank you for taking my call. I have a quick comment and a prediction. So both the left and the right have been bamboozled by their respective leadership in Congress in Washington, D.C. in this way. The left they've been dangled Trump impeachment and removal for 3 years, and now we on the right they're dangling indictments and convictions in front of us. My prediction is that as long as Bill Barr is Attorney General, Trump will be impeached before he ever indicts anybody.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the call, Tom. And that's a mic drop, too.
Yeah, when he was done.
He's done.
He let us know.
I'm surprised nobody's talking about local politics. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we're nary 2.5 weeks away from a primary. In
Cook County State's Attorney's Office, all eyes are on that. I'm pulling a Democratic ballot.
For example.
I've decided who I'm going to vote for.
Who is it? Kim Fox?
No, Donna Moore.
Donna Moore.
I'm changing my vote
because she
from
came on the show.
Bob Fioretti to Donna Moore. Well, I'm choosing between those two, and I'm choosing Donna Moore.
Bob Fioretti has Buddy Guy's backing.
I know.
That's something to consider.
Yeah. They're both better alternative, but she is the better of the two alternatives, I think. I wish them both well, but they're all three, and Bill Conway going to split the vote, those three, and then lo and behold, we're going to have the Stockholm Syndrome and put Kim Foxx back in charge. It's unbelievable.
What about Christopher Fancook running on the Republican side? He's got a primary. You don't want to help him?
Well, no.
Okay. Yeah, there it is.
I'm being
That's
honest,
a question and an answer.
So, just so you know, I'm pulling a Democratic ballot. So you don't have to go look me up that I pulled a Democratic ballot because you do.
Copping to it, all right.
Yes.
I
I'm
accept,
owning it early, okay?
I accept your apology. Okay. Stephanie in Franklin, Tennessee.
Hi. You know, everybody's talking about the coronavirus pandemic. And I've got young kids, and they're talking about this pandemic like it's never occurred before. Does anybody remember the Hong Kong flu?
I remember
in
Hong Kong
68?
Phooey.
I remember Hong Kong Panda.
Yeah.
You don't remember the Hong Kong flu?
I don't. When was that?
68.
I was
in
1968, 69. It was called a pandemic. And this word pandemic seems to be something new that everybody's talking about. Well, there was a pandemic then. And I remember my mother, my brother had it. It was horrible. It was horrible. It was not a 1 day, 2 day isolation.
Well, sure.
It was more like a 10-day.
Well, yeah, that's
So-
same with coronavirus.
Well, but the point is there have been a lot worse
Amy.
viruses over the generations than coronavirus.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
nobody's talking about it. So the word pandemic seems to be something that everybody's throwing around right now. This is not the first so-called pandemic. So maybe there should be a little more educating, you know, about certain words that are getting thrown around to cause truly a panic.
Yes, thanks for the call, Stephanie. My mantra, I borrowed it from infectious disease expert at Brown University. Calm down, carry on. And just, what we've tried to do is relay the information from people who actually know what they're talking about. I know it's novel. I know it's not something most other media outlets are doing, but we figured we'd chart a different path. Now, that also brings us to this point in the show where we will accept names as we're considering renaming our show now that it's been rebranded by Matt from Cary.
Okay.
And your offering is what?
Calm and crazy.
Calm and crazy. Calm and crazy in the mornings.
Yeah, it's calm and crazy in the mornings.
And you can voice the intro.
Yeah, I could. Or you'd be like, this is calm. Hey, crazy in the morning.
Right. It's right up there with Weenie in the Butt from
Weenie in the Butt.
Family Guy.
Family Guy.
Yeah. Annie in Addison.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Dan. Hi, Amy.
Hello.
I just had a question. I wanted to join the school board because of all the awful books they have the kids read. Do you know when they say it sells thousands and thousands of books, is that including the required reading at the schools that they have to purchase?
Sure.
That the schools have to purchase?
Yes.
That's how you make your money.
Absolutely. For
Get
textbooks.
your book in the schools.
Absolutely.
You won the
So
lotto.
they're utilizing the fact that it's required reading as saying that their books are selling thousands and thousands.
Well, that's how you get them into the schools. I mean, or you can do it like the Catherine Pugh way, the outgoing mayor of Baltimore, who just got 3 years in prison. You can write a book, and then you can have use taxpayer funds to buy up all the books as a way to sort of backdoor royalty money from the taxpayer coffers to you, and then you can go to prison for 3 years. And then the next Democrat, kleptocrat in Baltimore can step up. So you could do it that way, too. If you're going to be on the school board, and good for you for looking to run for it. I don't know if you heard the interview we did a couple weeks ago. Or maybe it wasn't here. It was on my other show. I don't know. They all run together. But Wilford McClay is a professor at Oklahoma. And he has a textbook out that he's trying to insinuate into school districts that tells the complete history of America as opposed to, Howard Zinn and the propagandized leftist incomplete history of America. So you should check out Land of Inspiration, McClay's book, and try to
Land of Inspiration.
Yeah, try to add that into the curriculum for history.
I'm talking about the English books.
Well, that too.
Dan, Amy,
how
my
about,
gosh!
How about Shakespeare?
Amy, watch what your kids are reading. It's awful, the stuff that they're making them read. I mean, my son had a choice of 5 different books, and one of them was about cadavers.
Well,
I mean, it's all about losers. It's all about losers. Catch-22. You're having the kids read Catch-22 in high school? And the things that they carried? Oh, my gosh. You guys should list these books. And another one is Don't Ever Let Me Go. It's about people that are raised in concentration camps. And they're used for organs.
Here's okay.
It's awful.
Well, but that's accurate. But here's the thing about this. Well, it's not. No, it's not funny. I mean, here's the thing about.
It can't be accurate. Oh my God.
What the Nazis did to the Jews and others.
No. I'm talking about this is this is new. They raise them for using them for parts. They raise them in camps, and they have days that they change, that they give each other things that they make to see if they have souls. I mean, oh my God! You're forcing kids to read this stuff.
Well, the kids should understand man's inhumanity to man. But let me make a global point here. By the way, I missed Land of Hope by Wilfred McClay. Land of Hope is the book.
Land of Hope.
But here's the thing. Here's the approach. Rather than spending too much time trying to get particular books out of the curriculum, the better play is to try to get books in the curriculum that should be have been expelled. And I'm talking about like in English class.
Yes.
Try to get Shakespeare as part of the English curriculum I don't even care, grade school. To some Shakespeare is accessible. At grade school,
they have Shakespeare,
high school.
but what do they do for 12-year-olds? They have them read Romeo and Juliet. And Romeo and Juliet, they're what? They're 14 years old and they get married. They fall in love. They get married and they have sex, and then they die. They kill each themselves. I mean, come on, that's crazy. It's not Shakespeare's best.
Well, okay. Thanks for the calling. I mean, we can have a round table on Shakespeare, but maybe start with Measure for Measure then with the 12-year-olds. But just as a point, if you're going to get involved in your kid's school board, or just getting involved monitoring curriculum, get good books in. Don't worry so much about getting the bad books out, because the point is to say, you go ahead with your bad books. You go ahead with your agitprop masquerading as scholarship. Just include our scholarship and let the teachers and the students work through it. And let's see how it goes. See, we're not afraid of advancing our ideas and our understanding of Western civilization. What are you afraid of? Turn those individuals, expose those individuals, really, if that's what it is, to be essentially the book burners of the 21st century that they are. And that's a prof parenting tip.
There you go.
You didn't think you were going to get one in Open Mic Friday, but you got one. Kevin in Madison.
Oh, yeah. Hey, it's Jan. Anyway,
Jan,
about
Kevin.
schools and whatnot. Yeah, well, in the Girl Scout handbook, it even promotes planned mangalahood, I call it, Planned Parenthood.
Right.
So it's just getting ridiculous. And you do have to look over your kids' shoulders. You do have to see what they're doing. I know I ticked my kids off looking over their shoulder at the computer and pulling them away from it when need be. So you have to stay on your toes, damn it.
All right, thanks for the call, Jan, and we'll have our producer there, Quinn, get an hearing test. Jan, Kevin, how do you mistake?
Sometimes a typo.
Is that like Yanni? What's that one? Yanni and what?
In Laurel.
Yeah.
It was always Yanni.
They don't sound anything alike. Neither does Jan and Kevin. Michael in Oak Forest.
Yeah, an unreported story is the Cuban embassy in Washington, D.C. We've been paying for maintenance and security and uptake for 60 years. And President Obama's administration gave it back to the Cubans, and their flag is flying over it, and our taxes are still paying.
Well, thanks for the call, Michael. Chuck and Delavan, also on Castro.
Thank you for letting me on your book club, Dan and Amy. Upton Sinclair, The Jungle. Hey, I wanted to talk about Bernie, and he keeps saying about what a great job Castro did. He ran the Bacardi people right off the island, and he uses their distillery to this day. So that's another great thing that Castro did. Thank you.
As the least of his crimes, but okay, sure. We want a complete list. Sean in Elmwood Park.
And this segment is why I'm rooting for the virus. Listen, I'll tell you another thing, Prof, that you reminded me of. Till you get rid of the Skippy peanut butter jar out of Hayek's little toolbox and join the rest of us in the marital bliss and fatherhood. Stop giving advice, okay, dummy? With your sports car and your fancy shoes and your own money you get to keep. You're giving me advice? And I'll tell you another thing, Prof. I know you read and you name the book after an economist and all that stuff.
Name a book,
you know what the main
dog
component in the stock market crash really was? I mean, the main catalyst in why it turned into the calamity that it did. Listen, I'll fill you in while you struggle.
Yeah,
it's
right.
because the
I
government
stopped listening. I stopped
rules.
listening 35 seconds ago. But go ahead.
The government, yeah, that's how we. You're not the only one. That's how the government passed rules that you could buy stock on credit. Little shops popped up all over, and they were called bucket shops. And you could go in with 10% down and buy 100% of stock value. And what happened as the market started the correction, the people who had credit, they just stopped paying it. And it doubled down.
You're hurting my eardrum. Can you
familiar?
please stop yelling?
Yeah, are you able to speak
Are you
at
talking?
like conversational level in a room with civilized people?
There's a lot of aggravation going on. I got
Yeah,
people
why are you
telling
so
me what
angry?
books to read to kids. I got unmarried guys telling me how to be married and raise kids. I got a lot of nonsense going on.
Sure,
And you're nothing
Shakespeare
but a
nonsense.
Duke brother
Yeah.
trying to protect your position and fluff up this market, which, by the way, it's not a correction till you cry, Prof. Not a correction till you cry. It's just stretching its legs.
Okay, thanks for the call, Sean.
You
I
are
think.
done yet?
I'm
I'm exhausted listening to him.
Just a room temperature response to Sean for anybody that is also unhinged. Jason Zwig in the Wall Street Journal. This is the longest bull market on record, according to S&P, running more than 131 months without a 20% decline from its latest highest closing to from its latest high closing price. Over that period, stocks have returned more than 490%. Including dividends last year alone, the S&P rose 32%. A big tumble would shake that confidence. Let's remember, though, that panic is rare in markets and in life. During the Nazi bombardment of Britain in World War II, most people remained so level-headed that the neuroses centers opened by the British government to counteract the expected efforts of mass panic were seldom used. Yeah. Have a little bit more of a stiff upper lip like the Brits during WW2, why don't you? George and Lyle.
Yeah. So, hey, love all the callers, but please quit asking Dan and Amy how they're doing before they make their comment. Just assume that they're okay.
Okay.
Well, how are you doing, George?
Yeah.
I'm okay. Hey, and whatever
good.
happened to the Hong Kong protests?
Well, they got the coronavirus settled that.
They're ongoing, actually. Actually, thanks for the call, George. That's a good question. And there's been reports that Hong Kong protester organizing is still going on. Unfortunately, it's taking the form and trying to establish unions, which I'm not necessarily opposed to, but I like the mass protest to send a message to mainland China, to Beijing. But no, it's still going on. It really hasn't. It subsided a little bit, mostly with respect to coverage, but not with respect to animus towards the communists in Beijing. So that is some good news. And thank you for the suggestion on formatics.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
We have reached the age where things just cost more.
Cars, phones, life insurance.
Your blood pressure is up.
Your weight is up.
You're one to talk.
I have type 2 diabetes, so I'm getting dinged just like you.
Thank goodness for Big Lou.
Big Lou!
Big Lou can get